Welcome everyone to the latest episode of The Testing Room, where three of the gaming industry's best video game consultants who have never actually consulted on a video game bring you new topics each and every week. As always, I'm Alex, aka The Godfather.
I'm Christian, aka Sudobudo45.
I'm Preston, aka Funkadelic Jedi.
Yeah, and we like to kick things off like we always do before we get into our week by seeing Preston, what's going on over in the corner?
Well, after we hear something from our proud sponsor. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Comic Headquarters. If you are looking for a trade paperback or hardcover, the guys over at Comic Headquarters can help. Even if they don't have what you're looking for, they'll offer to order it in for you. Visit comichqstl.com today, where you can contact them and order that trade paperback or hardcover that you've been looking for. Or give them a call at 314-433-5449. Let them know that the testing room sent you, and you can get 10% off your order. One comment from the Force Unleashed finale of our playthrough on youtube.com/thetestingroom. Good to see a legend playing this game by Nemo No One. Thank you.
Did you have a guest on?
Myself. I'm the legend that's playing the game, sir.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Thanks. But other than that, yeah, no comments.
I wondered.
Nothing else to bring up in the comment corner.
Well, shout out to Nemo for recognizing game recognizing game right there.
I think he might have been the person who, or I think they were the person that showed up on the finale. He had a whole bunch of lore and stuff we had discussed during that time, so if you want to jump in there, see that. And then they also, and I'll talk about this, I think I already talked about that. We did the finale of that. But there was he told me what the black lightsaber crystal was, and it's like right at the end. You have to do all this like platforming and stuff like that. And I tried it and kept dying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. It's not worth it. And then the final boss was like right there. So even if I got the black saber crystal, it would have been just for the final boss. But appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out to those. Feel free to check us out on the other Sundays. We're doing KOTOR. We'll talk about that in the weeks.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Christian and I have stuff to say about KOTOR as well. At least what happened on the in a side chat that was going on.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, well, Preston, with that, do you want to start your week off? Yeah,
I can start off my week. We can start off with, we're playing KOTOR. We got some mods for Star Wars Sundays on twitch.tv/testingroompod. So we do that for a couple hours every Sunday morning. We should be good to go with my move and everything. I don't think we'll have any delays or any skipped weeks. But yeah, went through the first couple hours of it. We're on Terrace. I think that's where we're at. This planet. And we're just going around, talking to people, doing the thing. It's kind of a reminder that KOTOR starts off a little slow. You want to get in there. You want to be a Knights of the Old Republic. You want to swing around your lightsaber.
You got a world build, man.
You got a world build. You got to get in there. So we're doing that thing. Fucking Karth is there. Whatever.
Karth is there.
Always chirping. But we're getting through
You're
it.
being nice to him for no reason, too.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be a light side playthrough. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, you can still get a light side and be mean to Karth.
I know. I'm a little cheeky with him. I'm like, does it really matter? He's like, oh, no, I guess it doesn't. Well, let's just continue on. Let's just don't worry about the conversation. Like, yeah, that's not.
So did you create your character? Yeah. How deep was the character creation?
It's not. You pick portraits. Like, it's just like a dozen portraits.
So your character
is the one I usually choose when I first start the game. It's that or the guy with the cone rose. I usually choose one of those two.
Yeah, your character led Christian down a rabbit hole in a chat with Travis and I.
No, that's not the only place. It wasn't. I was
got frisky for a minute.
not only with Travis and Alex, but also many other people I tried to tag in to get help from, and it was to no avail.
I think that we gave plenty of great options.
Does it look like him? We have this guy right here, Teddy. Is that what he looks like? Is that what you're thinking of?
Dude, we gave so many options in this chat.
I think that there was one person in that chat that was being a little bit more helpful than the other person. And I made mention of that. And that person who wasn't being very helpful at the time took great offense to that, and that's kind of on them and not on me. So
is that a person? The Godfather.
We recommended. Let's see. We recommended. What mine was a legit look. My option was a legitimate.
I'll describe it for everybody. We'll just go fast.
So start with Travis's because we went. Yeah.
So I said that. Yeah. So I said, and by the way, whoever might see this episode later, if you know who this is, throw out some ideas.
Who it reminds Christian
or who it reminds me. Yeah, because So. And it could be very well that I'm just crazy. It could be like an amalgamation of all these 90 dads' faces that I'm just seeing as one person. I think
that's what it could be.
And I don't think that's the case, but it very well could be. Either way, there is this the creative character, and I said, this looks like a generic 90s movie or TV person, like. And when I say, I was like made for TV movies. Like I'm thinking like a Disney Channel dad back then, Nickelodeon live action, movie like back in the like '98
the other teacher
era.
From Boy Meets World. That's not the older Mr. Fiend.
Sure.
But the other
Yeah.
Medium length hair, slicked back.
Yep. Like it totally could, like something in that era, right? Just around, but not famous. Like this is like and an example was like Travis threw out like. The dad from like Growing Pains or something, and I was like, no, too famous. Like you're already going to this, that is a star that somebody can immediately place. I'm thinking about like
Travis did say the dad from Boy Meets World as well.
Yes, he did. Yes, and again also too famous. Like we're thinking somebody even below these people that an executive would be like, this guy has the kind of face that people would not be unpleased to look at, but also will cost us no money. And I think I even said he'll be paid in food from the craft table, not actual money, like for the role. Like that's
the credits are what he gets paid in.
Yeah. And Alex's first, upon hearing that, Alex's first guess was Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's famous, buddy.
Too famous, not helpful. But
looks identical to the character, to be fair.
I said, I was being nice at this point, and I said, nope. But, close look, I'm just thinking less famous than Tim Allen. So I just am repeating, because I know that Alex sometimes in real life and in video games skips dialogue, so that's probably what happened here. So I'll reiterate for him, that way it makes it there the second time. Travis then chimes in and says, so basically like the Wish version of Tim Allen. I said, yeah, like Temu Tim Allen, right? Like that's what you should be thinking of. Alex's next response, Chuck Norris.
To be fair, I was flying through these GIFs, like just had them up. It was just sending stuff as quick as possible. I also said right after Joel Osteen, who actually I think pretty much nails it, by the way.
Yeah, but definitely not the 90s dad and not the person that we're thinking of.
No, but looks identical. Sure, but nobody knew who you were thinking. I don't even think anybody knows who you're thinking of. You don't even know who you're thinking of.
I'm giving you a time frame, and you not only do you put two unhelpful guesses immediately, but I've already given you a time frame. Your third guess is a mega church pastor from the last decade. Again, supremely unhelpful. Preston, the next person on Alex's list is Kevin Bacon.
A little famous, yeah.
To which Travis responds, if you think that Kevin Bacon isn't as famous as Tim Allen, you're crazy. I very much agree, Travis. You're correct.
Correct.
Now, Preston, I can't even describe to you the anger that I felt at this next guess. He then throws out Kevin Costner.
Still, it's like top tier famous.
And I was like, Alex, I will drive to Atlanta and strike you. You are about to get struck. The next person, immediately after this, I'm talking seconds after I send that I'm going to drive to Atlanta and strike you. He shares Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club. To which I respond, no, in all capitals. This person would not be in any well-known movie. He would have been on like a late-night TNT movie in the 90s. That's the level of stardom we're looking for here. And then in all capitals, not The fucking Breakfast Club. Alex then decides that he is offended at everybody's upsetness about these guesses and is like, I'm sorry, but it seems like I'm trying to help you and you're being ungrateful. So
I don't think
I'm going to move on.
Look, he clearly didn't know who he was thinking of,
but
right?
Yeah.
So all of my guesses are legitimate guesses for this reason.
No, they're not.
Because he
not.
thinks 90 levels.
Thank
he thinks
you.
90 levels late night version of Fame, but clearly he could be wrong by this point, right? Because we're just trying to find out who your character looks like. He may not know what they're in. Maybe it could be another Christina Ricci situation.
No.
Right?
Kevin
Where
Bacon?
he does.
Thank you.
Kevin
Thank you,
Costner.
Preston.
Just saying.
Thank you. Preston is
Maybe the Breakfast Club guy, but like...
Preston
For Judd
was
Nelson,
not...
I'll say Judd Nelson is not that famous anymore.
Nelson,
Like Judd Nelson was
kind of give you that.
famous and
Sure.
you know.
But, okay.
But Chuck
Thank you,
Norris-
Preston. Thank you, Preston. We
Kevin
can just go right
Travis
on.
as we keep going, Travis threw out Ted Danson.
Yeah,
Like Ted Danson's any less famous than
Here's
these
the thing.
people.
Here's the thing. This shows how angry he was. I didn't even get a chance to reply to Travis. He immediately got angry at me for what Travis posted, and I didn't even get a chance to respond to Travis. This is right after he gets all offended. Travis says, I think he looks a little bit like a young Ted Danson. And he goes, he was also a 90s dad. And then cuts to like a movie that he was in with like Burt Reynolds or some shit. Or Tom Selleck. And the immediate response, again, I have not said a word. Immediate. Well, Ted Danson is also famous as fuck, so... Okay. He is, and I didn't actually get to say anything, but... And I said, all I said to Travis was, the look that you've got going here is the closest that we've gotten, but still not like less famous. Like it's not him. Yeah. It's not Ted Danson. And so I immediately responded to Alex's like, he's famous as fuck. So, and I go, well, here we go. Like already here we go, because I didn't do anything. And so then I was like, I'm only yelling at you and not Travis, because Travis is actually trying to solve this riddle. And Alex goes, how dare you? I'm trying. And I said, you suggested Kevin Bacon. I said generic B-movie actor, and you think Kevin Bacon is the most helpful I can be right now. And then he was like, Travis, and then he goes immediately, again, cannot come to grips with the fact that he was being unhelpful. Immediately just wants to try to throw Travis under the bus again. And he goes, yeah, but like he's like, it's like a brother, like two siblings, like 2 years apart siblings, like going at each other. He's like, well, Travis got Ted Danson. I was like, I understand that he got Ted Danson, and that's fine. But his other guest, that was the only other guest that he threw out. And again, I responded to him and told him that it's still too famous, but that's what we're looking at. And it goes on and on and on, and yeah, it goes fine from there. But yeah, in that moment, I was like, but I'm glad Preston sees this for what this is, which was absolutely you being unhelpful.
You caught me at a bad time. You caught me at a bad time, to be fair, and no one will understand this. I get it, but like, so I was in the middle of watching Liverpool, and it was Jurgen Klopp's last game, by the way. And like, I know Preston, you're not a sports fan,
I'd like to hear about
Christian,
sports.
you're recently into soccer, but essentially, Chris, you take your favorite coach of a basketball team.
Sure.
They came in, turned the team around, won some trophies, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when you think you're like building, midway through the season, he goes, "I'm really tired. I'm retiring." And everybody's like, big boom in the soccer world. And it was his final game. I was a bit emotional and a bit upset. I couldn't watch all of the all of the celebrations at the end of the game. I had to leave the house and go for a walk while it was on. Right. I was a bit upset. Yeah. So
the truth comes out, and the truth will set you free. And I'm glad that you've done it here and just admitted the fact that you were in a bad mindset, and that's why
you
decided that you wanted to hurt somebody and you wanted to hurt me, and that's okay.
Unhappy mindset with Jürgen leaving. It was not.
But at least we're not under this foolish notion that you were being helpful here. That's
we'll do a social media post, and I'll put the portrait there. Like which '90s not super famous person does this remind you?
I'm thinking like, and again, I just need to be very clear. I'm thinking like we're talking like the bad lawyer on a single Law and Order episode. Like,
I mean, nobody's gonna get this.
I know. That's the problem. I know. That's why I said I fully committed to the. I know for a fact I'm not going to get this. And then there's going to be one night about 3 a.m. when I can't sleep at a hotel, and it's going to be on the TV, and I'm going to pause it, take a photo, and then be like, holy shit, I finally got it. And then I will be able to move
I can't wait till you send
that. We're thinking like sci-fi original TV show star, right? Like, or like a movie, right? Like those like kind of very
you gotta be careful
things.
If Billy Zane was the star of a '90s sci-fi made-for-TV movie, Tales from the Crypt, so you got
also in Titanic.
Yes.
No, all I'm saying, what I'm saying, Preston, is that there are plenty of people that hit a mid-level of fame that were in those B movies early on. Oh, that's all I'm saying. So.
Sure, but we know what we're saying. You know what I'm saying, and you're being pedantic for no reason. I'm saying that this is that person's only role, or maybe a couple roles like that. Not Billy Zane from Titanic.
He's gonna say the guy from the first Blade movie. The guy plays Deacon Frost, the main villain.
If anybody remembers that Tales from the Crypt episode, the one that always played on Sci-Fi back in the day, where like I think Billy Zane was. I don't think he was a hero. I think he was like a vampire or something, and it had to do with like blood they would pour around the door. I don't remember that whole movie. It was by far the best one they ever had, though. They would play that one all the time.
Fun fact,
if you'd ever seen that.
I used to have a Tales from the Crypt cardboard cutout because someone got it from a movie theater. I'm like, oh, cool, a movie thing. I had my cousin Nick, who played Destiny with us and made us mad when he opened up that one chest in the raid that one time. Because we weren't sure if we were going to get the stuff for it. But he used to be super afraid of that, so I would just put it around the house and like scare the shit out of him. And at one point we had to let it stay outside because he was too afraid of it and wouldn't go in the basement. And during that time it got rained on. So you
are uncool with people's fears.
I mean, to be fair,
which is real funny because if it's his fears, he's not happy about it.
Yeah, like if I drop him an open ocean video, he's not a happy camper. But fucking let him find a good spider video to send somebody, and woof, I'm first on that list.
It's all usually mutual, okay?
Yeah. Again,
it's all mutual. Played some KOTOR. It was fun.
Yep, we sure did.
I'll put a post on the Instagram if anyone wants to take a look at it, and then if you want to also comment on who they think it is. If you post something famous, Christian will probably get upset with you. Just a heads up. KOTOR's good. KOTOR's great. All the mods I got in there are fantastic. I got 3 mods we're running. We're running the HD skyboxes. We're running the restoration pack, which helps make everything look a little bit better, and also restores some missing content there. I'm not sure what it is, but I might dive into some of that. And then the third one is AI-generated HD versions of the cutscenes. So if you go look at the cutscenes now, like just naturally they get kind of blurry. You can't kind of see some stuff, but the AI kind of takes it to where it gets a little more detail on there. For example, the very first opening thing is that ship kind of going down towards the city, and the city looks fantastic from far away. So there's little details in the ship. So it's cool to see. It's a cool way to go about the game. I've played it a dozen times over, and now I get to play it with a little bit of new freshness since we're probably not getting that remake. So we'll see. They keep saying
definitely
yes.
Not.
I kind of highly doubt it. So
it's not happening.
Yeah, I think so. Also played a little bit of Hades 2 using the family share plan. Dived into Alex's little purchase. I'm like, I just want to play like an hour or two of this, maybe. And then I get some B-roll for it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Love the kind of little story going on with the person. I forget her name. But essentially, I think she's the Princess of Darkness or whatever. She's Hades' daughter, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's a bunch of cool characters. If I don't know how much of you played, Alex, but essentially you got to like the hide and seek section where once you get like a first good run, and you go back to the main section, which is what Hades does. And then it has like a little bit of story bit there when you play as a young version of it.
I think you've probably played more than me. I played that first initial day or two, put it on the Steam Deck because I often play on the Steam Deck, and I haven't really touched it since because I've been doing other stuff. But
feels great. Feels wonderful.
Looks great.
It's doing really good for a sequel to a game that was most people's game of the year that year. So if you like that type of game, it's a really good version of it. It is early access. Preston's Preston's video game league that we're in. I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that doesn't get released early in 2024 because it's
not going to.
It's not going to, but
I mean, there's a chance that they might do like a little Christmas thing, but they've said pretty clearly before,
if they do, I'm done.
Don't think about it until 2025. So
I'm done.
So yeah, that's gonna be bad points for you.
Because the league
that's
thing
not gonna feel good.
Showed a score on there, and at first I thought meant that it was actually scoring it, but no, it's not because it's early access. But at first it didn't say that; it just showed it's got a 90. And I'm like, that's gonna hurt real bad.
And it's only gonna go up from there.
It's only gonna go up from there once it's actually finished. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Almost finished with Tales of Kenzera Zao. Great game. It is getting difficult now. I'm about in Act 3, but pretty much right at the end of Act 3 right now. And I'm getting some combat situations that are pretty hard, some platforming sections that are getting more complicated because the more things you get, the more complicated all it can be. But one of the things that kind of not upsets me, but it's kind of crazy with the combat is still fairly simple. You got the two types of actions as far as powers. You got the sun power and the moon power. The sun power is like red, yellow, and you can do your melee attacks with that. And then the blue one is the moon, and that one you can do your ranged attacks with. But you get upgrades within those. So the ranged one can do like a freeze on an enemy. The sun one can do like a spear, like a fire spear. And then your enemies are all kind of standard, but once you get further into it, they start having shields based on those energies, right? Based on those actions. So you got to take down the red guys with your red powers. You got to take down the blue guys with the blue powers. But the issue with that is you can't stagger or stun or like anybody like that. So when someone's coming in for swings or something like that, your heavy attacks aren't going to stun them out of that hit. So you got to remember, hey, when you're taking down those shields, either do it from afar or hit him a couple times, dash behind them, hit him a couple more times, and kind of do the dash back and forth. But other than that, it's been a lot of fun. Really liking it. I will probably be done with it by next week, and I'll let you guys know overall. But boss battles have been a lot of fun. Not repetitive at all. First one was like this kind of I'm not gonna spoil it, but first one was kind of a standard like big boss battle, like waist up, and then you're kind of doing it. He's in the background, you're hitting his hand or whatever. And then like the second one is like a chase scene, so like a little big planet kind of like chase level to where you're going through and you're trying not to die as you run out of the staging area. So it's I really like those type of
I love those in platformers.
Yes,
yeah,
I love those in platformers. So I hear there's more than one. So as far as those type of stages and areas, so I'm excited to play more of that. But it's great. It's really good. Super cheap, and it's on Steam, and it's not a big time consumer as well. So that's nice. Other than that, the only other game I've played, I'll let Christian talk about this more when he gets to his week. But diving into that Diablo 4 some more.
I was going to say, if you want, you can save it for the end of your week, and we'll just...
Yep, we'll save it for the end of the week, sure. So before we get into Diablo 4, I am watching one new anime. I finished up with Jujutsu Kaisen. It's really great. The animation's great. Season 2 is just balls to the wall, fantastic.
Wait. Like, there's only 2 seasons of that show?
Right now, there is only 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, right on.
There's like there's like a third section, but it's like season 2, but it's like a movie. That's what the movie is. So there's like 2 seasons of the movie.
So you've seen all the... Is there a character that has...
Yep.
died that... Yep. You understand why people were filming themselves crying now?
Yep. I mean, I didn't cry. I didn't get that.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying, but
I could be with these enemies. I could be like that. I mean, free run can get me kind of choked up. But as far as like, I could see why they would cry because this character got. But to be fair, there's a handful of characters that got. So maybe it's 1 or 2 of them. But There's a very famous character that gets taken down.
It's the dude with white hair that gets got.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's not him. He does not get got. Yeah. And he's my favorite character.
Well, I might be thinking of it. I might not be describing him right, but there's a character that starts with a G.
He's the character I have as my icon in Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get into slight spoilers for season 2. I'm not going to go into super detail. I'll put a spoiler warning for you guys since it's still fairly fresh and starting now. So he gets captured in a box, and they're trying to save him and get him out of that box. Someone else gets killed. If you want me to spoil it for you now, I can, but I kind of...
No, it's fine. No, that's okay.
So someone else gets killed.
I'm not going to.
There's like 3 or 4 people that get killed during that like last couple episodes. But there's one main character that's like, I did not expect them to die. They die in a very sad, horrific way, and the main character is super distraught about it. So it's... it's very, very good and very well written, and spoilers here. But yeah, that character.
So did you get to see the scene then? There's a scene that I saw that has to do with the main... I mean, you had it too. But there's a scene that I saw people like cheering for, where there's like the guy and like the red hair guy, like the main guy.
The pink hair, yeah.
He's walking through some snow, chasing down a character who did something bad.
The snow parts are throwing me off. But they go into other dimensions and stuff. So
the only reason I'm saying is I wonder if there's an extra season somewhere that's not on Crunchyroll.
Well, I was gonna say. Preston is watching on Crunchyroll, so it is okay. So it would be there. I just wondered if maybe it would be there. If it's on dub versus sub, what's been released, what hasn't.
Because of all the weird rights that have been happening since the Funimation breakout within Crunchyroll, like where they all the different rights for those different shows.
There are currently 2 seasons and 1 movie from Anime Universe right now.
So maybe it's the movie that this happens in. Either way,
the movie. Yeah, the movie is like a prequel kind of deal.
Well, then it can't be that. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter.
The guy's not really in the movie that much.
Yeah, there's a scene that I've seen repeated over and over where there's the pink-haired guy is
the main protagonist, whose name I can't.
Yeah, and he's walking through like some snow area, like he's walking somebody down basically. And there's a guy who has been causing a lot of problems. He has like a bunch of zombie stitches everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he's like trying to get away from him, and he's like, "No, please stay." And the guy, like the main character, is just like cold blooded, just like walking his ass.
So that's going to be during a domain expansion. So those things change all the time. Essentially, domain expansion is like domain expansion, and wherever they're at gets into an enclosed area that's only available to them, so they can do all the destruction, insane shit. The person who creates a domain expansion has the most power usually in that area because it's like their own personal dimension.
I see. Okay. Well, either way, I didn't know if that scene of that person getting the shit kicked out of them brought you as much.
With those 2 characters, the shit gets kicked out of them, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all the way up to the end of the season.
Sure.
So it's they're both crying at each other to stop multiple times, and then one's like, "Nope, now new powers," or "Now I got unlocked something else, and now I'm gonna beat the shit out of you," and then you're gonna be crying and half dead, and it's the whole thing. Yeah, that happens a lot. It's season 1 takes a little bit to start off. They make it a little extra goofy and cheerful in the first season. I like the turn towards the end of that season. Second season, it just goes straight off. It's like a My Hero season where it's just like, let's go full on craziness the entire season. Yeah. So it was really good. Can't wait for season 3. But the new one that I started, this is a recommendation from Christian. Not necessarily he recommended me, but so that he would recommend to anyone. So I figured giving it a shot. Mob Psycho 100.
Oh shit! Okay, all right.
That shit. So I'm about like
that shit
4 or 5-ish episodes in. That is trippy as hell. It's crazy. And
the intro is so good.
The intro is fantastic. Speaking of intros and outros, real quick before we go into that, Jujutsu Kaisen has one of my favorite outros of all. It's season 1. It's ALI, Alien Liberation International, who did the intro for Beastar season 1. They did outro for Jujutsu Kaisen season 1. And it's fantastic. But either way, Mob Psycho 100 is pretty good. Pretty good. It's really good. Overall, goofy, consistently, which is what I like when it comes to goofy anime. And it's just, I think it's really cool how it just, every once in a while, just during the episode, it'll just go Mob's, was it Rage Meter or whatever?
His like psychic meter, yeah.
It goes up a little bit more percent. And then I got to the episode to where it's like, it just goes chunk, 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 and goes to the very end, and that character is just like deadpan, no emotion, and then it's like full rage, and then he becomes fucking full on rage. It's really good.
Oh, it's
really,
so
really
good. I love. Yeah,
really
Mob Psycho is incredible.
Yeah,
Yep.
But yeah, get into that. But that's it. But yeah, other than that, playing Diablo 4. Start up a Necromancer, Alex. But yeah, Alex, been playing Necromancer as far as the new season for Diablo 4 goes. I am having a great time with the corpse explosion.
Which is pretty dope to begin with.
Yeah, I'm doing like a bone kind of build, so I'm just, I'm shooting off my bone spray and I'm shooting off the bone like spear. And then I got like 6 skellies now, like 2 mages, 3 warriors. So they're just doing mad crazy damage once you get them sucked in on one. Like, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, during Christmas week, but we get to like a boss in certain these Helltide areas, and if there's no mobs around that like little boss area, if they all go on the boss and we're going on the boss too, that meter just boom to the left. And then if you get corpses all over the place, then I'm just pressing that trigger and it doesn't cost any magic, so I'm just like, as long as there's corpses, I'm just doing crazy damage, and it feels so fucking good.
I know they were saying in that article that you sent, Christian, of like it's better, and essentially now they have like the same sort of armor. Your skeletons have the same sort of armor you have, which
so it takes
makes them tougher.
It takes it. So the way I guess they do the defense scaling now is, and for those who don't know, we're playing specifically. We're getting in on season, just to time it. Like we're getting 4 on, and Preston, if you want, you can look it up and correct me if I'm wrong. But it's called Season 4, Season of Loot, I think.
I'll look it up.
But the way that they calculate is like now it's taking your, like with your armor stat, it's taking that defensive score and then
Season 4,
the exact
Loot Reborn.
Loot Reborn, thank you. And it's taking that defensive score, and then I don't know the exact math, but then it's using your actual gear score and giving that to your all of your minions. Not just
that's a long time.
But
it's very rare that I'm like noticing. Oh, I gotta rebuild a skeleton. It doesn't happen as often. But again, I haven't played Necromancer before this, so I'm not sure how big the difference is. But I'm not noticing them drop off easily. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, it's definitely gotten that new patch. And I'll let Christian talk about it. But it just feels more like that Diablo 3 patch that kind of made it explode towards like the loot system's better,
Loot 2.0,
better leveling up, everything like that. So, but yeah, that's what we.
So the way the way this season kicks off is it's like and I think it's supposed to be. My guess is that it's going to lead into their new the new expansion, because the new expansion is supposed to go into the Karat area from Diablo 2 that's got or Karat that's got the Iron Wolves, like that's the mercenaries from that area. The Iron Wolves show up in this, and you're helping them out by fighting with them and doing a bunch of shit in Helltides, which are Helltides are usually only available at higher level difficulties. But they're just saying fuck it, and you can do it from level 1 now. Like you can just go right into a Helltide, and when you do that with this new loot sort of treadmill or loot sort of algorithm they've created for this, it is exactly like a lot of the articles that are coming out right now being like, this is the game that it should have been at launch. This is the game that I wanted it to be when it launched. All those kind of things. And for Preston and I, for people who've played a lot of Diablo before, I agree with that so far in my experience of playing. It feels great. All the classes have really fun builds now that make it so that you can just, and any build works. Like there's not you should only, like if you're gonna do Necromancer, you can only do like a Bone Spear Necromancer this time around or something like that, right? Like it's like, no, there's you have so many different options available to you for different builds that you can just sort of make work, and every single one of them is gonna feel powerful and crazy in their own way, and the loop is like super satisfying because these Helltides make it so that from second one you're just in it. Like you are just killing all these different mobs. You've got everything sort of flowing, and then you're getting really good loot drops for whatever your level is. So it always feels like every single time that you do one of these, every single time that we've done a Helltide, I have at least 6 to 7 6 to 7 drops in total that I can use, like that will go into my current slot that will be better than whatever it is that I just got.
And you're leveling up so quickly that you're just getting new stuff every time. Because literally, Alex, it's like every 10 minutes or so you're getting a level. Like maybe not even that. Because it's just every like hour is like a full like 10 to 12 levels.
Yep, like it just jumps. You're just smoking it. As it goes on, like you just are getting more stuff to the point where there was loot that I had literally never seen before in the game that I've gotten items. A couple of drops. So there's unique items now, or I shouldn't say now, they've always been there, but they're this like sort of like light pinkish color. Peach, yeah. And like, man, we played that first the season 0, right? Like when the game was launched.
We played through the whole campaign.
We played through the whole fucking campaign. Like we did the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. I never saw one of those items once. I didn't play in season 1 at all. I left, but then I tried season 2 for a little bit. I tried season 3, and I got both those characters up to 50. And then this one I've played, and Press and I are closing in on 50. But throughout all those playthroughs, I never saw a single one. Press and I have seen 2 now, or 3.
I've gotten 3 unique so far.
Yeah, and it's just like, and what uniques do in this game is completely alter a skill that you have that in ways that it would not otherwise be able to, even past like the aspects that you can get from like orange items or like dungeons or whatever, where it's like, like now every single time, like if you're a druid, right, like, and you have like this like unique that changes the way your tornadoes work, you can be like, now instead of casting a single tornado, it casts 7 for every single cast. So then it's like, oh well, I'll just mash this, and then I have 100 million tornadoes on the screen, and everything dies, right? Like it's not supposed to work like that, but because of this unique, it does it, right? And there's tons of them throughout the game, but I never fucking saw them. And maybe if I had been at world level 5, like the max one, right? Like maybe I would have started seeing them back then. But to be at the like world level 1, 2, like where you can start the game at before you go to your capstone dungeon, and to be getting uniques is awesome. It feels really good, and that's how Diablo's supposed to feel, right? Like when we were playing through Diablo 2, we got a bunch of good item drops that just happened to drop like as we were going through the game, even though we were playing on normal difficulty, because that's what's supposed to happen. And sure, when you get up to fucking hell or whatever, like you'll get better ones, right? Like in the stuff that you get in normal is not going to, it's not going to go forward. But in the moment, you're like, cool, sweet, I'm getting good stuff, and this is awesome, and it feels good. And that's how these games, like that's how ARPGs are supposed to work. So it's been very refreshing to go through and have it feel good and everything, and it makes me hopeful for whatever the expansion might look like.
It's great.
But yeah, so yeah, play a little bit of that.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been playing a shit ton of 14 with Alex.
I've seen that. You and
we
Travis.
have
so much.
Yeah, we started the Eureka grind officially. Oh man, that one is. We want to try to have it done before Dawn Trail. I think we're gonna come through on the skin of our teeth, but hopefully.
I think we can. I think
we can do it, but we'll see. So yeah, I've been playing that. Been playing more Uden Chronicles. Still very good. We played the game, obviously, that we're here to talk about today. I have caught up on My Hero. I know Preston's probably the only one that's seen the new episode.
This past weekend's episode I haven't watched yet.
Okay, I won't say anything. It's very good.
Too busy packing.
Yep, very, very good. And then also the new season of Demon Slayer started as well, so I was watching that. Very, very good. I'm trying to make sure. There's one other game that I've played. Now, if you look on Steam right now, it's going to say that I've played this for a very long time. I have not actually put that many hours into it, but it's an idle game, so it sits and sort of runs on its own. So that's what you're seeing. That being said, you guys might remember this game from when I talked about it during a Steam Next Fest, like 2 Steam Next Fests ago. But it's a game that I've never seen this kind of game done this way before, and so I got it as soon as it came out, and I've played I almost have every achievement unlocked because it's very satisfying to just set something up and then watch the gears just sort of turn on their own. But it's called Rusty's Retirement, so this is that taskbar game that I was telling you guys about. That sort of sits right above whatever you're doing, and then you can just sort of, so it's perfect for a game like 14 where sometimes I'm waiting for something or I'm doing something, and I kind of just look over at my other monitor, see this little guy and his little farm, and I'm doing his thing, and then I go right back to what I'm doing, and the wheels keep turning. It's incredible. It is exactly what they build it to be, and even more. They've got like 7 different types of farms that you can unlock that require different layouts and things like that. It's very satisfying. It scratches that itch if you're the type of person who likes to sort of see something work. And like I said, I've probably only played maybe 4 hours of it total. But I've had it running for like 58 hours. Like, it just goes because it just, like I said, there's in the very early beginnings, you kind of have to manage parts of it. Like, all the crops came up and they've been harvested. Now I need to plant some new ones, and then I can go back to what I was doing because the watering and the harvesting all takes care of itself. But as you go on, you can start buying little signs and then buy like a different helper robot that will pay attention to the signs that you've planted and then go like, oh, okay, like if I put pumpkins in one pad, like if I put a little pumpkin sign, that little robot will then go, got you, and it will just, as soon as it's available, it will just put pumpkin seeds down there, and then the other thing will come and water them and do it. So by that point, you really are just like, oh, okay, cool. And then you just let it run. And you're like, if my computer's on, it can just be on. And it'll just do it. And maybe sometimes I can come and check and see like, oh, do I finally have enough money or biofuel for this giant upgrade? Cool, let me press the button to spend that. And then I can just walk away again. And like it just fucking keeps going. But it's very, very good. If you're into idle games at all or into that sort of thing, it is a perfect one of those. It's exactly what it says it is, and it does it and then gives you a little extra on top of it. Absolutely 0 notes. I would not change a single thing about it. It's perfect. That's it. That's all I've done.
Okay.
Nice. I haven't done much either. A lot of Final Fantasy 14. A lot of Final Fantasy 14.
We actually, Alex and I just looked today to see what our most recent hour count is. Yeah, it's a lot.
What was the hours?
500. 500 was probably like 4 years ago.
1,500.
Closer.
2,400.
Lower, not that quite.
Okay,
not
so
quite that high yet.
Around $2,000.
It was 1,800 hours.
Okay.
In fact, for me, it was like 1,802, and for him, it was like 1,820.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, 74 days.
He has made up a lot of ground on his Steam Deck version.
That is a lot. Let's see what Preston's hour count is real quick here.
Are you logged in right now?
No, but I got Steam opened up.
Oh, okay.
For some reason,
I was like, dude, if we're talking about being logged into 14 during the podcast,
I say
we
can't trust Steam time because like I played on Steam, I've played on PlayStation, I've played on PC, I've played on
you have to
I've
log
only
into
played
the
on
account,
Steam really. 174 hours. Not bad.
Not bad.
No.
Cute.
Yes.
Cute.
That's how much to beat the base game plus a little sum.
Yeah, that's the base game plus a good chunk of Heaven's Word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than that, I really haven't played anything other than what we're going to talk about tonight. And yeah, that's honestly it. I plan on, by the next time we talk, I do have some work stuff coming up that might require me to not be in the home office. So unfortunately, I won't be able to play this game with me, but I do want to dive into Hellblade 2.
Okay.
Because that launched today, and I'm really excited about that. That was my most anticipated game of last year. What I bet the bank on for being a big winner for me for our fantasy games, and didn't come out. With that being said, I'm fully prepared, based on Microsoft's recent history, to be disappointed. So
people seem to like it more than the first one so far, so we'll see.
That's great. That is great. The first one was fantastic. Hopefully that's the case. As Christian and I were talking about earlier, Microsoft did come out and go ahead and say, hey, don't worry, Ninja Theory's third game is already planned.
Yeah, planned is the key word there.
It's so funny that they said that, dude. I said to Alex when this happened, I said, no publisher would ever say this. Like, no one... Like, think about all the times that Sony has came out and said, like, by the way, guys, don't worry. Naughty Dog's 5th game has already been greenlit. No one in the history of publishers has ever done this.
Because we know.
But they're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd be like, neat. I'm happy for them, but I don't care that it got greenlit. I would just assume that their 5th game would get greenlit. Why does that matter?
It's going to be a game. Yeah.
But they're doing this because they know that they have seen the news of people being like, great, when Hellblade 2 comes out, you're just going to can Ninja Theory. Like, you're going to kill them. And they had to come out and be like, guys, their next game is greenlit. We can't get rid of them yet because we've already funded their next game.
They can still get rid of them.
But afterwards, we'll fire them.
They absolutely can get rid of them if this game doesn't lead to more subscriptions. Then they act like this would be the first time that they ever canceled a game mid-production before.
Right.
Like we all don't remember.
You've given us trailers for Phantom Dust and Scalebound. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Thank you.
By the way, the third game isn't even mid-production, right? It's
it's pre-production.
Yeah, they have an idea.
It hasn't even started.
Right.
I bet you that there is a fucking sentence. There is a mood board somewhere in Ninja Theory, and that is as far as they've gotten on that game.
Yep.
Probably.
So yes, I'm excited to dive into that. Hopefully, I'll have time to do so before we meet next time. But that's it, man. It's your week. I put some time into your game last night. As we dive in, I'm excited. I have not a screenshot. I have a couple of pictures to share with you that I personally find funny.
Send them to
hopefully
me.
You'll enjoy them as well.
Any of those fun bugs that you guys may have gotten, if you guys could capture those for me.
I didn't say they were bugs. I didn't say it was a bug.
I mean, to be fair, you sent us one. You sent us a video of Ray walking walking into a wall and yeah, just running.
I did, but no, these photos have to do with something else. So I'm excited to. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. So Preston, it's your book club.
If you're ready.
Game.
We are playing Ghostbusters, the video game. It was considered the third movie for a while as far as it was canon, although there are some pieces in there, especially what you see in the firehouse, that is just not canon. It's more of just they had fun. They got all the actors back as far as who shows up. This game was released in 2009 with the PSP a little later that year, and then 2019 is when the remastered came out. Remastered didn't do a whole lot for the game other than put it to different places. So, publisher being Atari, Mad Dog, Epic, or the remastered versions. The developers. There are 6 different developers on this game. For the PC, PS3, and Xbox is Terminal Reality. For Wii, that did the more cartoony versions, same as the PS2, but Wii is made by Red Fly Studios. I'm pretty sure, Christian, was that the one that did the Force Unleashed, as well as the Wii versions, if I remember correctly? Possibly?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Were you getting different games according to those platforms?
No, they're like the Force
Unleashed?
Kind of the same thing as the Force Unleashed, where there might have been like an extra level. It just looked... So the Wii and the PS2 versions, and I think the PSP... had this kind of Pixar look to it, as far as the way the characters were animated. If you want to look it up and see what that looks like, I'll show a picture for the people down below. But yeah, this probably is outside of like Skyrim, Doom, and Grand Theft Auto. Like, this probably has like the most releases as far as where you can play this game on. So PC, PS3, Xbox were Terminal Reality. I'm assuming they mean 360. Red Fly Studio.
The Wii is so weird.
Yes, it has.
Christian,
like
I'm going to send this to you now.
That's by Red Fly Studios. That's the Wii. War Drum Studios did PS2 because they're still making PS2 games at the time. Zen Studios did the DS version. 3 Wave Studio Software did the multiplayer on it, and Saber Interactive did the remastered. So you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen in here. There's too many cooks, you would say. But yeah,
I would say that.
Yeah, all the systems are Xbox 360, PS3, PC, Wii, PS2, PSP, DS, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and yeah, you can get them on PS5 and Xbox as far as they're still there.
Whoa, dude!
I don't like the
different.
Wii at all.
Yeah, I never played that version of the game. Never played that version of the game.
It's drastically different. Like not even a little bit. Like completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. Holy shit!
Yep. But yeah, you got a lot of the regular voice actors are back. So obviously, all the Ghostbusters are back. You got Janine by Annie Potts. She's back as well. William Atherton, who plays Peck, a.k.a. Dickless. And then you got the guy who plays the mayor back as well. And, of course, they couldn't get... what's his name? It is escaping me right now. Glasses was getting down and dirty with Annie Potts in the second movie.
Rick
Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
They do have a nice little section in there, like next to the staircase, next to the lockers. You see his outfit as far as his Ghostbuster uniform. You see a computer desk there and a couple notes on there. It's kind of fun little nod to him.
Also, I mean, in the very beginning of the game, it says like, thanks to Rick Moranis or whatever.
Yes, yeah. So it's so they offered the role to him apparently, but they didn't get any response.
I mean, 2009, he was well out of the spotlight.
Oh yeah, no, he was
well
making country music at that point. Yeah, he's retired from acting. Fun story I heard from about the new Ghostbusters movie though is that they offered him to get in there, and the guy who plays Ray, Winston Zeddemore, he said he got offered more money than I got offered to make the movie, and we didn't hear from him. So he's like, I'm sure he's having a good time making country music wherever he is, but yeah, he didn't respond to us. So they really wanted him on there. He's a good actor.
Did something bad happen there, or did he literally just like?
He just got tired of acting.
Family what?
I think he's.
Yeah, I think something happened with his wife.
His wife passed away. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. So he went to get kids and ended up becoming a country singer. So
just crazy to not respond to people.
He just doesn't do acting stuff anymore. He's like, I'm not going to even do it. So don't want anyone to get any hope. But yeah, that's kind of how it. That's kind of a little bit of the beginning of it, as far as some nice info for you guys. I'll be dropping in some extra little nice Easter eggs and tidbits as we go through, and then every other day I'll kind of give a little bit more as far as maybe some fun stories I find. Apparently Bill Murray was not easy to get a hold of. First off, they couldn't get a hold of him at all at first, so they were trying to get other people to be in his spot. So except for, let's see here, where is it? I had it here for a second. Preston, cut for time. So before Bill Murray signed on the game, Peter was written out of the story. Several ideas were devised. One entailed Peter having to move to Paris with Dana. Peter was in Los Angeles working on and opening a new Ghostbuster franchise, which was supposed to be apparently a part of the second game, which is a new place in Los Angeles. 2 other actors were considered to voice Peter in the game. Vince Vaughn was the first choice when recasting Peter, as was considered. It got as far as...
I think Vince Vaughn could do a shitty version of Bill Murray and it'd be all right.
Yeah, so it actually got to the point where it got to his age and they agreed on a price.
Okay.
And then Murray blew off voice acting recording session in South Carolina. His brother Joel Murray was considered to also replace him as well, but then apparently at some point he just showed up. So they did get him in there. And to be fair, I do enjoy him quipping, but you can definitely tell he's not the greatest voice actor in the world. Definitely pulling a Garfield the entire time, I feel. You guys all saw that old Garfield movie that he did the voice acting for.
Yeah.
Which he's now being replaced by Chris Pratt.
Voice acting is a different skill, man.
It is. And as you get to the female protagonist, you will see that Alyssa Milano does not know how to voice act either.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, and I'm glad you said this. There's a section that, to your point, where when you get introduced to Alyssa Milano,
she's your female protagonist.
This was one of the first times that I hit a particularly nasty soft lock where a character would not move forward or do anything. And so I had to, but at first I thought that it was something that I was doing. So I went and looked up online and was like, can anybody help me? Like, did I miss something? What happened? And I saw somebody describe it where they're like, you wait for Alyssa Milano's character to, do that, and then something will happen. And I was like, Alyssa Milano? And then
Don't even
when I reloaded the checkpoint, and the trigger worked and everything moved forward, and then she comes off the elevator, and I was like, and then she says something, I went, that's Alyssa Milano? I was like,
really phoning it in.
Yikes, man. Yikes.
A lot of the actors do a pretty good job, but it's like Resident Evil 4 with that one chick.
Who I think might do the best job so far? And who might have made the best transition? I think it's because his character in general delivers everything flat.
Right.
Egon comes along.
Yeah.
Egon comes across perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, this game is written by Dan Aykroyd and Hale Ramis. R.I.P. Hale Ramis. But yeah, he does a great job because of his character. Most likely, it's just that super flat dialogue. Yeah, he does a great job. But yeah, we'll get into it. So first level, essentially our tutorial starts off at the firehouse. But the story opens up with a nice CG cutscene. Starts off with the old Columbia Pictures logo, which I thought was a nice touch. The cutscenes and these CG scenes are really nice, I feel, still. But it starts off with the guards in the Gozer exhibit. Our female protagonist, Alyssa Milano, runs by, and a big ghost wave comes out. It's described as a psi energy pulse. It erupts across New York City. We cut to the Ghostbuster logo and the theme song with the car heading out to the firehouse. It goes into there, you meet the team, and you are the new cadet. So they're kind of bringing you, filling you in on the info.
When you say... So I'll send you guys a photo. When you say you are the new cadet, you mean I am the new cadet. And I just texted these photos to you.
Is it you without a beard?
You get to see yourself in the elevator. And dude, the cadet's just me.
You know what? You aren't entirely okay. Here's
what better pictures. I was trying to find pictures. I don't have a lot of photos of myself beardless as like a younger teen.
Yeah.
Dude is just fucking me.
You know what?
That's what Allie brought me.
If you were to shave right now, and then chop your hair off or whatever,
buzz it.
You wouldn't look like this guy.
We have this weird
But young Alex absolutely looks like this dude.
I know.
Before your facial features set in for the rest of your life, like while you were still, growing.
Yep.
This middle period here, oh yeah, dude. Yeah. That you are the recruit from this game. That is you.
Let's call him Alex. Let's call him Alex from now on.
Yeah.
I was playing that when you see yourself in the elevator in the hotel, it was like, holy shit. Like, I think I'm just younger photos.
Quite uncanny.
So, anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We cut to the logo, get to the firehouse. They're kind of introducing you as the new rookie. And then that wave hits the firehouse. As you see, Slimer is just like in this little aquarium thing for ghosts, just hanging out there. He's doing the funny thing with the mine cars, the big squiggly lines, kind of playing up, kind of like the animated series, which I kind of liked. And then after that wave hits, Slimer just does a little tappy tap on the window, cracks, and he escapes. As he escapes, everybody's like, "Oh no, go!" He escaped. He's probably going down to the trap containment area. I have a quote on here that I thought just kind of made me giggle a little bit. Is from Bill Murray. It's like, "No, wait, come back." And I'm like, did you guys, before you guys moved on down to the fire pole, which is always the fun thing to do, and you get a trophy for it, did you guys mess around in the, I guess you call it a lab area, but like that firehouse section upstairs a little bit?
No, I just jumped on the pole.
So I interacted with a video game and the toaster and the painting.
Yep. Gotcha. So I don't know if the toaster is in there right now at this point, but it definitely isn't later. I don't know if it's one of those, because when you get the artifacts, which I'll explain later, there's things you can find with your PK reader. Later on, if you get those things, anything you get with the artifacts that like disappears when you scan it goes into the firehouse. So including the toaster, if you find the toaster, which you can interact with, it does a little pop thing. But yeah, there are arcades there. Before you go down the fire pole, Pete, aka Bill Murray, is sitting over there. He's like, oh yeah, I'm not messing with that. And you can go and play the next arcade right next to him. You don't actually play it. It's just you stand there for a second, it goes beep, beep, boop, and you walk away. But yeah. You go down the pole, you go down to the containment grid, where Slimer's just looking in there because they have a viewport, I guess. And they tell you to get rid of him, or get at him. Which, it's a very bad idea to shoot at a ghost when he's right in front of your containment field full of ghosts. But of course you do it anyways. Did anyone try to go to the side? I thought about this and I didn't try it later on. Did anyone try to go to the side to see if it still hits the containment area?
No,
I didn't. I went straight.
I shot it,
straight
but
through it.
The thing is I shot him, but the beam goes through him and then still hits the door anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, well then, like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was fine. Yeah.
And me knowing this game, I knew you'd have to wrangle and bring their health down. Like, it's not going to help that you're shooting this thing, but you should. And another ghost escapes as well. So you're running around, you're trying to get those ghosts. You go down to the sub-basement, which is essentially your tutorial. It shows you how you deal with your pack, how you deal with your life meter, how you do, like, the venting of the pack, because obviously you can overheat after a while, how to grab, how to slam, and how to trap. So this kind of gives you a tutorial of what you'll be doing mostly throughout the entire game. Obviously, you'll get upgrades, and we'll get other things that we get throughout the level, but the bread and butter of what you know as Ghostbusters, this is how you're going to be doing it. So you are going after Slimer at first, but then you got the other ones down there as well. You mainly go after that one. You trap him. Did anyone have any issues with just that first tutorial section of learning how to play the game? And how do you feel about the basic trapping of ghosts? Does that feel good to you? Did it feel like you hit the marks on that for you? Because I feel like as far as a video game, this is the best representation of Ghostbusters we have. It's not perfect, but it's a very cool idea, and games don't have you wrangle and fish things through midair most of the time.
So to answer the question, yes, at this moment, I was like, yeah, okay, right on, I get it.
Ghostbusters,
like, the only thing that I didn't quite get was that and I still don't, but okay. So there's the slam thing, right? Yes. Like you can yank them and slam them to stun them, right? And you can slam them down.
Yes.
But you can't slam them down into the trap. Once they're in the trap animation, you just kind of have to keep them in the cone until they go. Now, I think that might change if I buy the slam dunk trap upgrade.
Yes.
So that was the first upgrade I bought.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I bought like extra beam juice,
Same.
like
that's
like heat stuff
doing,
and other things like that.
But all PlayStation 2 era video games, we know this. Always buy the most expensive upgrade first.
Yeah,
it's gonna help.
I just wanted to be able to shoot longer without having to do my Gears of War active reload situation that was happening there.
Yeah, you're venting. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I was like, I didn't get a clip of it, but there was a moment where I was sitting there with Slimer and I'm like charging up the because as you hold them in the capture thing, or not Slimer, but the ghost that escapes with Slimer. Yeah. There's a bar that charges up while you have the capture meter out, or the capture beam out, and that's like building up the slam meter. And so there's a clip of my character. I didn't get a clip of it, but what my character was doing was, as the ghost is sitting in the trap thing, he just keeps doing the slam animation over and over again because I'm trying to get it to happen. I'm like, I don't understand. And you're in that little small room, and so then I slam the ghost against the wall like 4 times, like wham, 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 and then I move him back over and keep trying. And I was like, whatever, it's not slamming. I don't know why, but who cares? And I just moved on. But yeah, at the moment, I was like, yeah, right on. This I get it.
Got the feel of trapping ghosts. Like
I didn't in the like. I did not love the like. Because I can see now, what difficulty is everybody playing on?
I'm playing in the middle, so I think it's experience.
So 2 questions.
No, there's easy, normal, and hard.
Easy, normal. I'm easy, and I'm on Steam Deck. What are you guys playing on as well? PC or Xbox?
PC, okay. And then, Preston and I were normal. Okay.
So, apparently I have my copy on PS5, which is boxed up somewhere. So I am family sharing the ones I bought for you guys. Because all my consoles are now in a box, and I don't know where it's at right now. I'm not opening up those boxes.
Okay.
Sure. So, we... there's a... Like, on normal difficulty already, when I was seeing how slow the health bar was going down to get him to the capture spot,
Christian told me to play on easy. He was like, Alex, if you started, I go, no, he goes, put it on easy.
Yeah, it can take a minute. Yeah.
I already was like, this is going to be a lot. By
now,
the end of this game...
upgrades you get later on, the different types of kind of weapons, if you will, or how to use your weapons, can tick that meter down pretty quickly.
Okay.
But at the beginning... Yeah.
Yeah, because up until this, like all 3 levels that we did today, there was some bosses that, man, they were just eating damage, and I was like, spongy. Fuck me.
We'll say now, but the boson dart you get to where it's like you're using the normal ray, and then you can hit the other one that sends like the pulse. That will take down usually a good chunk of their health most of the time. And all these enemies have weaknesses as well. So if you're using a certain type of weapon that they're weak to, if you scan them, it'll tell them which weapon is their weakness.
Okay, all right.
So like some of them are the beam, normal electro beam. Some of them are the other weapons. So you can kind of
the ice shotgun,
the ice shotgun, the slimer, whatever. Yeah. So you get the one ghost slimer.
Oh, hold on. I didn't say if I liked it or not yet.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you did. Go ahead.
No.
I hated it.
No. It looked really good so far. I did like the animation looks fantastic. So I really liked that so far. I liked the destructible environments. The thing I didn't love, which is just it's a mental thing, and I had to get over it, and I struggled with it the entire section.
Yeah.
Which is I want to focus in by like L trigger as I'm shooting, like zoom in with L trigger and hit.
Sure.
And L trigger does something else. So throughout this entire playthrough, I was doing secondary attacks because I could not break myself away from like classic gaming brain.
Third person, yeah.
Aim, shoot, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree. It was so far to this point, like it's really good. Like I liked it. I liked the look of it and stuff like that.
I like that they nailed that like capturing ghost aesthetic because like you think about it, like okay, you can do shooters and stuff like that. Like this is different. This is you like using a ray, weakening them down, grabbing them, and bringing them places like a fishing kind of essentially in the game.
Can I also say that I didn't appreciate the hand holdiness, and I think it could be because I was on easy of just like telling me everything. I did appreciate though the design of like your health on the pack.
Yeah.
On the back,
very
right?
Dead Space
like your health there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I thought that was good. I liked that.
Yeah. All the meters are built into your back. That's nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Slimer escapes the actual firehouse itself. You go upstairs to find out that you are now the new experimental tester for all the tech. So all the stuff that hasn't been fully experimented and tested on, you will now be the test subject. And, you know, if it blows up on you, the new guy. It's not going to blow up on anyone else. So that's the kind of idea of it. So yeah, so now we go into like the first actual full level, which will be the Sedgwick Hotel area. We find out that that's probably where Slimer's going to go. We're like, hey, Slimer escaped. He's going to go there because that's the place he knows. Ghosts would know where they know. So they're going to go up there, and he's obviously going to go up there to eat all the food he wants, all the room service he can get.
You go to the front door and you're like, I remember this from the movies.
Yeah, and then it does that a lot through this entire game to be like, remember this? It's the whole member berries thing the entire game.
Remember. Yeah.
So like before I get into the car, I'm actually walking in the basement, not the basement, the main section of the firehouse. One thing that kind of didn't upset me, but it's more like this is not canon, I just want to be here, is they have the big portrait of Vigo, right? As we all know, since we all watched the second movie together, Christian may have missed it because he was not trying to leave. He needed to leave like towards the end of the movie. But that portrait turns into a portrait of all the Ghostbusters, like a Renaissance kind of era style.
Right.
So there would not be still a portrait or Vigo lying around, but apparently you have it stored in your firehouse and it's still a Vigo. So that's the one kind of thing to where, like, in the Wikipedia I'm looking at, it's like, there's some things in here that aren't exactly right. This one right here, the Vigo, would not be here.
Actually,
it's a portrait of the Ghostbusters, not a Vigo. But yeah, you get into the car, and this kind of shows you how all your missions most of the missions will start is like, okay, you're gonna get in the mission loadout what you're gonna be doing, and you get into the car, you go to the location. So this one, you get in the car, you tear ass to the hotel in Ecto 1 style. You have a fun discussion with the hotel manager, which is very much like the hotel manager in the first movie. This one is a new hotel manager, not the same voice actor, and they get mad because you were already there. They already paid you to exterminate a ghost, and now that ghost is back. And they get in the whole, like, well, that actually expired as far as, like, your guarantee. You should have got the extended warranty. And then you would have not had to have this problem. And, like, I thought that was a very nice, funny touch.
Bill Murray being the best car salesman.
And you can definitely tell this was written by, at this point, Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, because this is the kind of quality of writing you would want to get out of something Ghostbusters, for sure. We explore to find Slimer. So we're just running through the hotel. We're looking around for him. We find out he's probably on the 6th floor. We go up there. He's doing the usual thing of eating somebody's food service. You try to go after him. He runs off, slams through a wall. You are continuing to look through. This is where you get your PKE meter. Your PKE meter. So this is where you pull up. You'll do all your scans here. So this is kind of where you get into the collectibles of the game. So you got 2 types of collectibles. You have artifacts and you have scans. So you can scan ghosts. You can scan some other objects, but the objects that will disappear when you scan them are artifacts. So there is a ticker for all those. There's an amount of those. And like I said, all those artifacts will go into the firehouse once you get them.
Is it 1 per level? Or is that just a number?
Well, I mean, you got multiple ghosts per level, so you got to scan all those. And then artifacts will be something like you find the toaster, or you find the suitcase that's haunted, or you find this that's haunted. And as soon as you like scan
I just feel like...
Because there's like 75 total,
I feel like...
Or something like that.
Oh, okay. Because I scanned a lot of stuff.
How many?
But when it
There's
came...
I can't remember the total. It's like 45 or 75, somewhere like it's a lot. It's
when it
per level.
came to the artifacts, I feel like I found a lot on the first level and the second level, but then come like the third one, I don't feel like I found anything.
So I think it made it a little bit harder. Like there was like hidden ones that you can get to. So the destructible spots of it, like if you find out you can break a wall here or something like that behind this bar, like okay, well there's a suitcase back there that's haunted that has a bunch of stickers on it. And when you go into your PKE meter, once you scan those, there's a decent amount of writing and description on some of those that are kind of interesting. So it just depends on which ones you look at. And sometimes they're a little bit interactive. I remember like when I went to the hotel, you find a portrait, I think, of like the guy who founded the hotel. And as you pull up your PKE meter to look at it, that's when it like, kind of goes on fire before like you scan it, which I thought was cool. Same thing with like the library and the librarian, to where like as soon as you scan like the photo, it like her ghost thing like looks like it's coming out at you, which is really cool. So once we find Slimer, we start using the PKE meter to get artifact scans. Also, you can get ghosts out of possessed items. So you're trying to look for Slimer, you're looking around, you find a vase, you scan it, Slimer pops out, so you chase him a little bit more. Me personally, I wish there was more of a third-person way to do this, because when you do your PKE meter, you go into first-person mode. You can still jump and dodge out of the way, which I think is nice, so that way if you are getting attacked and you see something coming, you still dodge out of the way. But as far as overall doing everything, when you're out in the third-person mode, you see like the little scanner on like your side. So it'll kind of give you a little blip, like, hey, here's a blue thing, here's a red thing, here's a green thing, which kind of detects like what you're going to be finding with your PKE meter. So it'll let you know when something's nearby. Then you got to whip out the PKE meter, and then you got to go into first person. Like, man, could I just not like scan things while in third person, still being very aware of my surroundings? Like, I don't think we need to go into this like first person, but some levels you'll find out that's how they try to get you with the scaries. Is they want you to be in first person. They want you to bring your field of view down to one little scoped area, and they might do some fun stuff around there to kind of give you some spoopy scares, or some jump scares even. But yeah, find out there are more ghosts. So we find out that there's more ghosts lying around, so we need to kind of take those out as well. One that we definitely find out. Yeah, more ghosts. There's just you're gonna find like you're going to go for a place for one thing, and then you're gonna find out there's just a bunch of ghosts because that psycho wave or psychoactive wave went through and just kind of awakening a whole bunch of shit. And there's some shit going down we don't know about. So we explore the hotel more. We go with Pete to the ballroom, where we have some more fun interaction with the manager, but we cannot get in as it is prepared for the Rodriguez bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
So since we can't go in there, we take the back route and we go through the kitchen. Kitchen is supposed to be very spoopy. It's got knives poked into everywhere. You know, an oven will go off on you, knocking some stuff over. And then this is where we will see the boss ghost, if you will, of this area. That's not Slimer. This will be like the fisherman. So it's just like it's this Long John Silver's looking motherfucker with a beard, and you see him on the other side of the kitchen, and then he starts throwing these like minions at you. So these are ghosts that are not you don't capture, but you just winnow their health down. They fall down. So it's more like maybe he possessed some like old dead fish in a trash can kind of thing coming at you. You'll see the different variations of different enemies have different minions. You see it later on with Stay Puft with his little marshmallow minions. But yeah, there's a lot of, give me a handful of different. That's like kind of the third tier of ghosts, if you will. So we're going through that. I personally got lost a little bit here. So there's this part to where you fight, the fisherman dude, and then you find out that your beam, your ecto ray, will have like a grab feature. So you want to grab this like cabinet thing that's full of knives poked into it, and you got to move it out of the way of this walkway to like get to the next section. I moved that. I was kind of exploring a little bit because I knew there's some things you could scan around. I think even the Stay Puft might be in this area as well, as far as like a little toy. But you're finding some other stuff, and all of a sudden, because Pete just continues to walk wherever the next section is. I don't know where that's at, so I'm going back and forth up and down hallways trying to figure out like where the fuck am I supposed to go, and then finally get to him. So that was one of the first like frustrating things I kind of ran into was like, okay, I went down the other path, but yet there's no real way of like an objective marker or anything like that. Like if you get close to some certain objectives, like your PKE meter will kind of help you out sometimes. But at this point, it's not like the PKE meter picks up on Pete. So you gotta just find him by just running around the entire area again. And I did a lot of backtracking I didn't need to do. But as you get through the kitchen, you will then get to the actual like ballroom area, which is set up for a bar mitzvah. As you guys can see, there's a cake and everything like that out there. Did anyone get the kosher trophy?
No.
What was the trophy for?
So the trophy is called kosher.
Trophy's pop, but I don't remember.
So on the giant buffet of food and cakes and everything like that, at this bar mitzvah is a ham. So if you take out the ham with your ray, you have now made the bar mitzvah kosher, which I thought was kind of fun. That was a nice little fun, like interesting kind of trophy, like a kind of like little joke as well with it. So in there, we finally take down Slimer, very much Ghostbusters 1-esque. You're in a big ballroom, dining room, taking it down, destroying things all around there. I think there's even a Flowers Are Still Standing trophy. I forget how to get that. I don't think I got that one. But there also is in here where you see a bunch of like the wine and stuff like that on a wall. You can take down this like bar area, and inside there's a little secret room where you can get another artifact, which is like a haunted suitcase I've been talking about. From there, like, okay, we got Slimer, but there still is this giant ghost dude. We need fisherman dude, so we need to go after him. So we start going back up. We're going up the stairs. He's just kind of hanging out there fishing down the stairwell. As soon as you get up to his level, what does he do? But he haunts the entire level with a big flood that has barnacles and water and all this kind of crazy shit. So you're like, oh goddamn! You're kind of walking around, trying to look for him with the PKE meter, and then I'm just gonna butcher meter this entire time. So the PKE, because it has the KE at the end of it, it's messing me up with the meter. The PKE meter, and then every once in a while he'll jump out of something. He'll kind of throw some more water at you, more barnacles. You're moving stuff around to get past all these barnacles. You're finding little artifacts here and there, and then all of a sudden he starts haunting he's obviously haunting the hallways, but then you start getting the spider candles, which are his little minions essentially at Tyrell. So those will just start crawling on walls, ceilings. I got to a point where I was cornered, where someone was coming behind me, someone coming in front, because you have those multiple ways of getting around that you can't get through this hallway, but they can get through by crawling on the walls and ceiling. So I think I'm just going down the hallway, mowing them as I go, but there's all...
I just start getting hit in the back.
I start getting crowded. Cool. Yep, start getting crowded. Got no car control, but I'm getting crowded. But you get through there, you kind of following him through as you go, and then got bit turned around here as well. A bunch of spider lamps. You go, and then you find like a restaurant section of the hotel where you will be making the standoff with the fisherman. You start making the standoff with the fisherman, and then he goes off and hides, and then something else pops up, which is going to be the first one of this enemy type, which is like a golem. It's I put down what it actually was. They called it an anthropomorphic animator. So for these guys... Boy,
did they have names for all of these
things.
They do.
Well, it's very Ghostbusters X2 where they got over-exaggerated names for them, but also when you scan with the PK mirror, they're called golems. So you're whittling down their health with this one, and then once you've got it down all the way, what you need to do is find like the thing that they mainly possess, which is usually their head, and you're supposed to grab that and pop it off, and then they explode. After that, the fisherman comes back. You go after him. You do the whole rinse and repeat like you did with any of the other ghosts, which is dwindle him down, grab him, slam him, trap him. So once you do that, you have now finished it off. And let's see here. Oh, this level is also where you find out about teammates who can be downed. And I put at the end of it, the worst. I forgot about this, but as soon as it happened, I remembered. And I remembered how much I fucking hate this part of the game, and how I hate this part in any game that makes you revive your teammates. I just hate any game that does that, because guess what? It just makes you stop the action, the cool, fun stuff, to where you gotta run over, get to your guy, press the A button on him so you can pull him back up, because he's fucking turtled with his proton pack on. So they're like, I can't get up, I'm on my back. So you gotta like help him up. And as we'll get into harder bosses later on, that becomes a huge fucking chore. And that's probably the worst part of the fucking game to me.
Because, man, they fucking stand there and just
take
eat.
hits, man.
They're like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
they don't dodge. They don't know anything
There could be a ghost that's about to throw a fucking taxi cab at their face, and they're just like, Dan Aykroyd's like, my jaw can take this, and then he doesn't move. Like, he eats it. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
my forehead does not care. It can handle it.
And then if you die, they do the same shit, and
they have to come revive you.
And you're like, they're supposed to come revive you, but they're just like, well, I'll come revive you after I take these 4 attacks straight to the dome. And then you're like, and then they die, and you go, mission failed. And I just want to, you're like, yeah, sounds about right.
Or like, a piece of debris, a destructible debris that, somehow is in between you and them on occasion can happen as well. But yeah,
they just can't figure. They can't path around it.
Yeah, it's for a game that doesn't have the greatest AI as far as what those guys are doing. Like when you're just fighting ghosts and they're doing whatever, they're doing additional little bit of damage, whatever, it's fine. But when it comes to the whole reviving thing, it is a fucking chore, and I hate it.
Can I also add what makes revive? If you're in a big fight where you're getting enough damage to have to revive, you're probably also getting hit. And the knockdown animation is the slowest, worst animation.
It waits to stop, and there's no nice, like a lot of games that do this, like the Force Unleashed, if you will. If you're getting knocked down, you can press a button that goes whoop. If you press it at the right time, you can kind of pop yourself up. There's nothing like that in here. You're not some superpower.
I thought I was dead. Like, because it always would zoom out every time. I was like, oh, I died. I failed.
And your body's like,
and then you get up and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't. Cool.
Yeah. But that's the Sisterwood Hotel. So that's our second. That's our first main level. As we're finishing up in there, getting ready to leave, we start hearing a thudding. So there's a big, like, Jurassic Park T-Rex kind of style thudding happening as we're getting ready to exit. And then Winston comes on the intercoms or the microphone, and he's like, "Hey, it's big, it's white, and you're not gonna be happy about it." And you just see the look on Ray's face to where he's just like, "Oh no." Cut to
it's the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah. But we go outside and we get a real nice. These CG cutscenes are so well produced and done. I love the look.
The
of these
cutscenes
in game are kind of rough when it comes to like the animation of the mouths and stuff like that. But as soon as they get to like the real nice prestige cutscenes, like you can see it. Like it's very well done.
The prestige
cutscenes.
Yeah.
And this is where you meet Mr. Stay Puft again. He's going through the town. He's trying to Times Square, and he's trying to find something. We don't know that yet, but he is looking for something. So it's the Stay Puft. We go through the street, followed slowly by the Ecto-1. You got 2 of the Ghostbusters hanging out in there doing a whole lot of nothing other than driving. But yeah, they're going
just
through.
Just yapping.
Just yapping, just yucking it up. But they're going through, and the Ecto-1 has a Muon trap, also known as a slam trap, which you can unlock. That Christian now knows that. But this is where this trap you can slam your ghost into once you get them whittled down.
Yes.
So you're going down, you run through there, you're taking down Stay Puft minions, which are these little bipedal marshmallow dudes. You can take them out pretty easily. As long as you don't get surrounded by a bunch of them, you're probably not going to have too hard of a time.
There's also where you're introduced to ghosts that you aren't capturing. Like you're just you're just vaporizing.
Yeah,
like,
it's the same thing with the fish kind of thing going on earlier, to where it's just like you're just whirling down
candles.
Yeah,
but like, there's like so all those little ones, those made sense. But the gargoyles were the first
they'll come up
big
here.
Ones,
yeah,
sure. That you're like,
they're a whole different type of.
I'm not supposed to. I'm just supposed to slam them. Okay,
yep. And that's what they're done. Yeah, which is nice. But yeah, like he said earlier, so we take down the Stay Plus, Ghost on the way. We're introduced to the gargoyle enemies that you need to be slammed. They're pretty easy to go about it. Just find them, grab them, slam them. They don't have a life meter. As long as you slam them into something, they're immediately gone.
So the problem that I had with those was that I kept trying to get them into the trap because they say I forget his name, but the character who you're running with says slam them and bag them.
So you think like
for the
slam
other
them in the
ghosts.
trap and take them?
Yeah, which is for the other ghosts.
No, it's when the gargoyles show up. He says, "Oh, we got more gargoyles. Slam them and bag them."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Okay." And I'm just like going over the trap at the top. I'm like, "Go in the trap," and like it won't happen. So I slam and they just die. And I'm like, "Okay, I guess this is what." But what do you mean bag them? Like there's just. It's dust in the wind now.
I must have missed that because I didn't think I had to trap them. To be fair, I completely forgot about how to deal with most of these enemies. So, but yeah, it was nice to be like, oh, it's gonna be like, please don't let me have to like will these guys' health down, and like you're just adding more. I'm like, okay, well, just slamming them, perfectly fine with it. Just make sure you take those guys out real quick and then deal with the rest. So yeah, you're kind of going through there a little bit more. There are some enemies in here that just like throw. I don't know if they're bottles or what they are. But they were the main
Molotov cocktails.
They're the main cause of most of my teammates going down.
Oh,
because you'll get two of them.
There. They just eat it. They're like, "Oh, is that a Molotov cocktail coming to my face?" And they just go, "Ah!" Like they just like open their mouth. They're like,
"Can I catch
it?" Like,
and as you're going to revive them, those two ghosts with the Molotovs are just
peppering you,
rearing back, just ready to get it again, and they usually get you down too. It can be a little frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, as you're going through there, you go through the laundromat because you're stuck at a spot. You want to go through the alleyway, but the alleyway is covered by a bunch of marshmallows shit, I'm assuming. So you're going through the laundromat that's haunted. They're moving and stuff. You kind of get a little idea of what they're going to do with some of like the. They won't consider them puzzles, but like kind of a maze kind of scenario, which
this is one of the first parts that I got stuck. That was not. This wasn't a soft lock, but it was just a thing that I was looking around, being like, "What the fuck." So that character, again, I forget who you're going through.
Winston, I'm pretty sure.
Winston, thank you, yeah. He cuts through the laundromat, but the way the game makes it seem like is that, like...
He's going to?
No, but like, I don't know if the Ecto one was planning on driving over the marshmallow fluff or whatever the fuck was happening. Yeah, it's a little extra tall, but yeah. And so, but you go down the alleyway, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like shooting at it, and I'm trying to think, like, what am I supposed to be doing here? All the while, Winston has turned around and went inside the laundromat already.
Waiting for you.
And so kind of what you're saying about the hotel was there a situation where Winston's like, all right, come on, Rook. I'm like, what? And I turn around and I'm like, where the fuck did he go? And I'm like running around this parking lot, like trying to look, and I'm like, I have no idea where you went. And then finally, as I'm walking by, I just happened to catch a glimpse of him. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I look and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And I went in there, but... it was one of the first times I was like, I don't know where the fuck you want me to go. You left me, and now I can't.
On occasion, that'll happen if you're not paying attention to where they're going. Yeah.
And there's no markers, so you're like, I don't. Okay, I guess you're gone.
Yeah.
At some point, they do put markers down for all the characters, but then they realize that we're going to do
die.
This. Well, there's a certain part I think before that to where it does show all of them without them dying. And you're like, they probably like, we need to stop this because we're gonna have them die, or we're gonna have them fall down to be revived. So we got to not have markers on there, otherwise it can confuse people. So you go through the laundromat area, you go to the back alley, and you notice there's a giant gas tanker just stuck in the middle of this marshmallow thing. What do they decide to do? In between two buildings in a very small alleyway? Let's blow up the giant fucking gas tanker.
Yeah.
Because that's the proper way to get rid of all these marshmallows, right?
Yeah. It's the equivalent of them being like, there's some marshmallows in our way. Call in the tactical nuke.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, of course, no building damage. Very nice. Like, yeah, if you blew up a giant gas tanker in the middle of an alleyway, those buildings would be coming down, to be fair.
Yeah, yes it would.
But we're also hunting ghosts. Well, let's, when we walk past it. All right, so we pull up to an opera theater at this point, and we take out more ghosts. Now we got a couple different type of ghosts. We got the opera singer ghost lady. She's going through, like, teleportation portals. She can stun you.
I did not like her.
I had a fine time. I just stayed away from them for the most part, as long as you get some distance.
Mine was just like when she got in the portal and she leaves, and I'm like, oh, just let me shoot you. Yeah. Like, I don't need you to drag this out any longer. Just let me shoot you and slam you. I don't need to, like, have this. Oh, which portal are you coming out of?
Yeah. No, it can be a little frustrating. There was a little chubby chaser joke in there that I thought wasn't great.
Thank you. So that was one of the notes I was going to say. Is he's like, Bill Murray basically goes, you bang one fat chick and then everybody fucking rides you for it.
Not exact wording, but yeah, you bang a chubby, but just pretty much the same way of saying it.
He basically said, dude.
You did go after one chubby lady, I'm not a chubby chaser. I'm like, you didn't need to go.
And he's like, you try to be nice to her and you guys won't let me live it down. And I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Wasn't a big fan of that one.
So the remastered version. Yes,
that was 2009. Like,
yeah, I mean, to be fair,
2009.
Pete Venkman is kind of a sleazy character altogether. Like, anytime he talks to a woman, he's just like objectifying women altogether, and it's just bad all around. But the chubby chaser one was a little bit.
I was like, damn, and also I was like, so the remastered version couldn't cut that one out, huh?
No,
it's you let that one rock. Right on, dude.
They paid for those Bill Murray lines. They're going to use them, right?
Yeah. I mean, even they like Dan Aykroyd. He said he's the writer. They lead into it, right? Like they even him and Egon go like, "Oh, it looks like the fat lady singing. It's all yours, Bankman." Like they. So I mean, they lean into it. Like it was one of the things.
They all thought it was a very funny joke. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, yo, yikes.
Definitely tell you guys used to write 80s/90s movies. Good job.
Yeah.
So you're looking for the Stay Puft Still, chasing after him. You're finding out that he's actually searching a building there. In Times Square, so you go after him to kind of get his attention. Now you're getting chased by it in Times Square, so you're trying to get around all the abandoned cars. Sometimes you get to a stopping point to where all you're going to do is take down the minions, and then once he gets kind of close, you're going to take him down, hit him with a couple boson darts, and he'll end up doing some animation that destroys a car to get a little bit further. Kind of do that once or twice. Go through there.
Can I tell you how much I love? They did it earlier, but like the reoccurring attack from enemies where they just throw like a collection of shit at you, whether it's a collection of books or a collection of just like little fire spiders or a collection of fish. Just man,
they really want you to get the combat as much as possible. Yeah. Nope, we'll do that the entire game. All right, so we find a building at one point because we need to get inside of it to get away from Stay Puft. We get into that building. There's like a funny dialogue. I tried to find out who those guys were in the elevator. Are you going up?
Just really quick before the elevator. This is my second soft lock.
Oh, let me hear it.
So okay. I get into the lobby here, and you're supposed. Dan Aykroyd is supposed to take you to the elevator so that you guys can get on it and just get up there. He doesn't do that. And he's sitting by the window and he's like, hey man, let's go. And I'm like,
yeah, let's.
I was shooting him with boson darts. I knocked myself out so that he would have to come and get me. And then he just went right back to his spot and didn't move.
Nice.
The only thing I can think of, what I think I got to do, I didn't try to reproduce it. The other one I was able to reproduce multiple times, and then we'll get there. I actually posted a video of it in the general chat so you guys could see it. But this one was, the only thing I can think of is right as the cutscene was about to start, or right as the sequence is about to start, where the Stay Puft blocks the entrance that you walked in on. Mm-hmm. I had my PK meter out and I was grabbing the phone off the desk.
Yep.
I don't know if like me doing it right at that right time created some sort of condition that made it so that he didn't want to move forward anymore. But I was running around that whole lobby and couldn't get it to work. And I was like, I don't understand. And I was like, maybe I missed something. I started shooting at things like everywhere. I pull the guide up and he's like, we'll take you right to the elevator. And I was like, the fuck he does? And so then I was like, well, I'll try again. Well, you go to reload the checkpoint, and the checkpoint system in this game is not what I would want. It put me back to the car section, so like when I had to run through all of the cars again. Yeah, I was pretty pissed. No. I was like, dude, I don't want to do this again, and if this doesn't work, I'm gonna lose my mind. And the second time, luckily, it let me right through. That was not the case later, but in this particular one, it let me go right through. And
that's a bad checkpoint. Yeah. You should checkpoint you in that lobby. All right, so we got in the lobby. We go into the elevator. I don't know who the two chuckleheads behind there are, but they got a little funny dialogue.
They make a joke about farting, and they're like, "You go to get on the elevator." And
so they don't want you in there, yeah.
He's like, no, this dude farted. You don't want to get in. Just don't go get on the next one. To which Dan Aykroyd responds with like, we're Ghostbusters. We've smelled other things other than, gas. Like, we'll be all right. And then they both get in, and they're like, it might as well be like, so the weather today, huh? Like, and then the one guy looks at him and he goes,
we're going to stay inside today.
And he was like, yeah, you wanted to do lunch at the office today. Stay inside. There'll be nobody here. You know you're fired, right? And he was like, right, because I wanted to spend my whole day locked in an elevator with you. And then Dan Aykroyd looks at you and he's like, awkward. Like, it's... yeah, and then you get off.
I was hoping that those were like celebrity cameos, but apparently I couldn't figure out who the actors were. All right, so from this point, we are essentially going up the building to find out what Stay Puft is going for. So we'll hit a handful of rooms and hallways to which Marshmallow guys will be coming down. Some other ghosts will be coming in and out, construction working ghosts that you've seen in Times Square. There are a couple...
He's going to bust through the window and like put his hand in the hotel at one point.
I thought that was kind of fun too, to where it's like you're kind of walking through, you see him kind of walking past the window, like, that's a cool aesthetic. And yeah, the hand part, it does that too.
Yeah.
There is a trophy in here, which I didn't get this time, but I was trying to 100% I think on PlayStation a while ago, to where like it's like just you have to hit all the destructible items in that one main like architecture room. To where the marshmallows are coming down. That's a trophy you can pop. Also, I forgot to mention, in the hotel one is where it starts off a trophy list as far as like do these things. As far as there are 7 or 8 water fountains in the game. So as long as you drink from all of those once,
I can't tell you. I didn't look it up, but I assume that after I did the first one, where all he does is sort of bend down and link out of it, I said, I guarantee you, if I find these throughout the game, I'll get a trophy. And then like there'll be water fountains everywhere, and I was like, I bet that I'm right. So it makes sense. Yeah.
This is such the old school way of doing trophies, which I don't love, which is like a trophy for fucking everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Yeah, and that's not even like a funny trophy. It's just like why would you even bother having an animation for the water fountain? It's just...
I got a trophy for something random. Replay because I didn't think about it
because I missed one like that.
I got a trophy for doing something random, for like shooting something with, my pack or something, and it popped a trophy, and I was like, but why? Like, why did I need a trophy for that?
Because they got to get those movie quotes in. They got to put them in trophies so that we can see them and go, I know that one. All right, so you're going up the building, fighting waves of enemies. You end up running into the female protagonist again.
She really phones it in here, dude.
Dude, all her lines
in this area were bad.
They're very bad.
Yeah.
There's probably a reason why she hasn't done a whole lot of acting or voice acting after this one. Because, yeah. Anyways.
I mean, once Charmed hit syndication, I don't know that this video video game was really a big hit to her bank account. Like,
I don't think it was.
She's probably just kicks back.
She's the spokesperson for some pet thing now, right? Like, the last time I was at a hotel, there was like a commercial on at 3 a.m, and it was Alyssa Milano being like, "You should feel bad about this sad dog that I'm holding," and I'm like, "Shut up."
Yes, I think she is. I
don't want to be sad at 3 a.m. Move on.
Well,
I get it. People
glad
suck.
that she's doing good work.
I can't sleep. Don't make me hate myself.
Thank you, dude. Like, seriously.
Like, my credit card is a sad dog.
Well, dude, it was like Sarah McLachlan, right? Like when we were growing up, you hear "In the Arms of an Angel," and there was like this dog that somebody beat the shit out of, and then it's like a kitten that somebody uppercutted, and you're like, I don't need this from you. I'm 13, and now my night's ruined. Shot completely.
I already watched Outlaw Star and Bebop, and now I gotta watch this sad shit.
Dude, and you fucked me up, and I can't skip it. Like, there's nothing I can do. It's fucking cable TV back then. Like, I just have to sit here and let the sadness be blasted in my face. And they're like, yeah.
There's one brown dog sitting in the rain with his ribs showing.
Yeah.
Oh!
I will never forget. Has scarred me forever.
And they're just like, 4 easy payments of, and I'm like, I have no payments of nothing. Stop doing this to me. Anyways.
The worst. All right, so you find her out. She's stuck in there as well. You kind of are getting the idea that Stay Puft is after her. So you are now trying to get out of the building, so you're going down. Stay Puft fucks with the stairwell and knocks it out, so that you have to go. You decide to go up to the roof, because that's the only other place you can go. So you go all the way up to the roof. You find a handful more of ghosts to capture. And from there, you accidentally get knocked off the building. Not automatically attached to ropes or anything, but apparently you're just hanging out there somehow. Which gives actually a cool little kind of view of you hanging down the side of a building as Stay Puft is crawling his way on up. So you're taking down little minions on the end. Luckily, these guys are just like one-hit kills, so super simple of you see where his hands are at. As soon as the minions come out, you just go sweep, sweep, and then he may vomit one at you. Just make sure to hit that one as well. As soon as he gets up to a certain point where he'll pause, you boson dart a hand. He falls down, rinse and repeat about once or twice. And then down goes Mr. Stay Puft.
I had to do it like
Sploosh.
4 times.
Honestly, I can't remember how many times.
Did you really?
It's a handful. Yeah.
Yeah, his hand.
Oh, you mean hit him and have him fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I was 3.
There was a 3. Okay,
So.
I can't remember how many times. But yeah, as soon as you finish all of that off, they're talking about, it's obvious the whole time you in Town Square, they're all talking about how you can possibly use the slam trap on him. So Winston's on his way. He's asking you to hold him off for like a minute or two. And you end up just splattering him all over the ground.
And then everybody's like, how you like those s'mores down there, everybody? And then the whole crowd was like, MVP!
Oh, this one tastes like gravel. All right, so when we get to there, we find out that the lady is Dr. Alyssa Selwyn, and she is with the Gozer exhibit. She's a big doctor who focuses her research on Gozerian and that area. So,
and he's the bad dude from the first movie, correct?
Correct. Gozer the Gozerian. Yeah, he's a bad. He's a cult leader, if you will.
Right.
So, we go back to the firehouse. We find out more info about her and the exhibit and what's going on there. Find out that she did notice that the thing was emanating from there, that big psycho wave. And so, I say mayor? Yeah, the mayor shows up with Walter Peck, a.k.a. Dickless. And he is now going to be the new overseer for us because the mayor doesn't think we're getting it done properly, and we're getting paid by the city's tax dollars. So he now has Walter Peck overviewing us. He wants to get rid of us, but the mayor says, no, you can't get rid of him. But I'll have you oversee him.
Did you find it upsetting that he already worked with a governmental paranormal department? If this government already has a paranormal department, then where the fuck have they been? Why is this up to me?
Maybe it just happened. Who knows? But it's Peacock, the Paranormal Contracts Oversight Commission.
Jesse Hayden over at the last house is slacking right now.
Mm-hmm. So from there, we did now know that we need to go to the museum. So we get into the car, but on our way to the car, we find out that there's a ghost site at the library. We know this as the Gray Lady. Does he have paper?
She has paper, yeah.
She has paper? Yeah. All right.
She has paper. She's having fun.
Hey, as long as you don't mind, I don't mind, man. All right, so...
it's not so much that he doesn't mind, it's so much that there's nothing he can really fucking do about it right now anyway.
Yeah, you take it away, but...
She's already ripped it in half, so it's not even like it's a big deal at this point. That's fine.
She's about to eat that paper.
She's not going to eat it, she's just going to destroy it, because that's fun.
Yeah, she would poop out paper, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not going to kill her. By the way, I did put in the Mufasa falling down for her falling down last week. I did that clip to the podcast. It was fun.
Yes,
it was a good time. All right, so we were on our way to the museum. We are now taking a sidetrack to the library to find out what's going on with the Gray Lady there. We get there. We notice that one of the lions are missing. And as we go to inspect the second lion, 2 ghosts jump out of it. These are the duo. They have stupid names. I forget what they are, but they're very pretty much like one has an ER, one has an O at the end of the name. And they do that for a couple duo ghosts here and there to where it's just the same name, but a little bit different. We go to
I
hunt
think there's
them
only a few duo ghosts in the game, so
Yeah.
it'll be easy to remember them.
Yeah, exactly. This is the pink and blue duo ghosts that come out of the lion, is what I'm going to call them. So we go to hunt them down and find out what's going on with the Gray Lady down in the library. Same thing as the hotel, really, as we kind of go through there. the Gray Lady's kind of up to some shit, and we're just trying to catch these two other ghosts. As we're going through there, the Gray Lady's also messing with us as far as shoving bookshelves in our way, stacking books like you saw in the movies. The filing cabinets are coming out to where it's all the index cards are popping out there too. So all these nice little member berries from the first movie are happening as we're going through. One thing I thought was really cool is that you go to a section that has like 3 sections down the library. The books are all stacked. I'm like, oh, fun. I'm hitting them all down. Like, oh, cool. These are all interactable. I'm like, I'm going to hit them all down. You go to turn around to do something. You turn back around. They're already popped back up. I'm like, I like that touch. I really like that. Like, it's very spoopy kind of touch to it. So I like it a lot. Christian, are you frozen? Okay, I saw you blink. No, you're good.
No.
All right, he's had the same look on his face for a hot minute.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just listening.
Just make
Fucking
sure.
my bad. Okay, I'm sorry for listening.
It's a very handsome face, but you're like that the entire time. Just want to make sure.
Sorry. No, I
just want to make sure.
No, yeah, I was just listening.
Just want to check.
Sorry.
Somehow that really got Alex.
It's really funny. You did look like you were concentrating very hard on something else.
Yeah, you're concentrating or frozen, and that's how you blink. I'm like, okay, you're there.
Yeah, it did look like you were trying to read something, but it's a little short, like hard to read.
Either way.
No, I don't. No, I was just looking. Yeah.
You can check back. You'll see what it looks like. All right, so like I said, same as the hotel. You're kind of going through the area, going down through the basement. You're getting messed with. This is where we'll get some more stuff here. So we chase them, move stuff around. We get the shock blaster, which is essentially a blue shock, and also has the primary is like the slow down stasis. They call it a stasis beam. So you can freeze up some enemies. You get one enemy that pops up, which essentially it kind of at first I thought it was like the runner guy from the second movie. I can't remember the second or the first movie, but essentially it's the ghost jogger in New York, and they hit the trap on him in the movies, and they get him sucked in. These guys run past you, so at first I thought it was the runner, but it's not actually a runner. But they do run at you. They're very fast. Very easily taken down with your shotgun blasts from the stasis weapon that you just now unlocked. But as you're going through there, you will go ahead and take out another one of those big guys. You'll find a couple of these in this level. Most of them are the same, except for when you get to another section, you'll find like a lava version or like a fire version of it, if you will, looking very Diablo 3-esque. But you'll go down, fight runner ghosts. You'll find out a little bit more about the Gray Lady. You find out that she had a husband who was known as the Collector, and he was trying to get a whole bunch of Gozer kind of stuff. So he's looking for the Gozerian Codex. So she has access to all of the books. So he's using her to get to there. She obviously didn't like that idea. He ends up murdering her. So you're chasing her through.
Yeah, here this game got real dark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of what they do. It's like a funny movie, right? But then the actual like story and details of like these hauntings and these horrible things that happen are actually pretty fucking bad and horrible. She ended up getting murdered by her husband. So you're following her. You end up finding out that she's kind of leading you to a secret room that she has in there, or his secret room, the Collector's secret room, where she was murdered. Which, will cue up a cutscene. So you'll see a cutscene of her there. A very creepy hand comes out of the book, slams her down, which I'm assuming is supposed to represent the Collector, her husband, killing her.
I was gonna say, it seemed like that's how she died. Like I kind of got that vibe. Like it picks her, like fucking grabs her, like slams her shit down. I was like, damn. And they were like, I think that's how she died. And I was like, that's a fucking bummer way to go.
It is, yeah. But it's so that's the Gozerian Codex. You go pick it up, and as you pick it up, the Gray Lady shows up, and she is now the first boss battle we have in here.
Interacting with her is my game froze, and I had to completely shut down the game.
So did you get the cutscene, or was it after the cutscene?
It was before the cutscene. I had to go back and redo it. It was when the cutscene was trying to load. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, cause she was like standing there reading, right? And like as soon as I interacted with her from the side,
you're supposed to grab the book at that point.
So this was my third soft lock.
Oh, same thing?
No, different. So you interact with her, and they're like, "Hey, Brookie, go grab the book from her." And so I go to grab the book, and I take the book, and then nothing happens. And I can still, like, now it's similar to Alex's in that the cutscene doesn't play, but for me, I was
supposed
still able to move
leave.
around.
You're supposed to try to leave with it, but yeah, you don't supposed to go very far.
So I walk around the whole place. I shoot everything that's able to be shot. I kill both Egon and Dan Aykroyd and then bring them back. I kill myself and have them come get me.
I love your answer.
Yeah, just trying
the old school answer of things: murder everyone, then myself. And if that doesn't work, I know I'm effed. Like, just
and so like no, it didn't work,
yeah.
and so I was like, okay, and then I reloaded the checkpoint, had to do the boss fight all over again. Was upset about that, and then the second time it worked for me, and the whole portal situation that you're supposed to talk about happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was not a big fan of this boss battle. I had a real hard. I don't know if do you guys have a real hard time taking down those, like, because what happens is she pops up, she surrounds herself with books as like a shield, so you can't hurt her.
Yeah.
The candles.
But there's,
you can't hit the book stands.
Yeah, there are like these like book stands that are floating around, 5 of them. They are super hard to hit. I don't know what's going on with them. So I finally angled it. I found a good angle to get at them, and I was able to take them down one by one as they're spinning around. But before that, I was having a hard time getting those books down.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with it, but I get it. Yeah.
I had to angle myself in a weird way to hit it because the way they were moving around me, like I couldn't hit. So I had to maneuver a weird way, and it took me an extra long time because I was so focused on just hitting those things. I was just getting peppered by the freaking books.
Book bats.
I was like, God, leave me alone. And then you kill them. You kill them, and they're like, hey, good job. Now do it again, except but switch your beam to a different color because
you have to.
Know.
I didn't actually use it. I used the regular beam the whole. I just shot I just shot the goes-on darts at it, or boson darts, whatever. And
they do area damage,
yeah, and so it would take out a couple of little book stands all at once, and I was like, all right, cool. And I was bam, bam, bam. I just shot those, but
it's supposed to go. You're supposed to be able to do it faster by using the correct color on that stupid thing. They're just like,
no.
Also, getting to this room, I almost lost my mind getting to this room. So right before you get there, you're in the sewer, and you have the 3 metal beams that you have to like
move.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a while for one of them, for sure.
It was the third one. It was the final one. It wouldn't go.
It would not do it for me. I would lock on. I ran around the entire room locked on, like trying to get it. Moved up, wouldn't go. Moved down, wouldn't go. Forward, back, whatever. Didn't do it. And finally, I moved to I just pulled so far and it just like jerked out, and I was like, cool. So I didn't move the controller and like did the second one and moved it, and did the third one and moved it, and it worked. It probably took me 7 or 8 minutes in that room just trying to figure out how to get those stupid things off.
You gotta love mechanics that they only use like once per level that just don't work properly because it's like just an afterthought. Like, oh, we want them to use the grapple thing, so use it for this cabinet in the kitchen. Use it for these 3 beams down in the library. I'm like, just don't. Just have me destroy them. Just make it wooden beams so I can just destroy them.
Or
you could use that grapple mechanic. We just paid money for to put in the game. You could use it here.
Yeah.
No, it's garbage. All right, where are my notes? All right. So after we get the Gozerian Codex, actually, no, I'm sorry, I forgot. Before this, I think, we had a spot to where there were like a kids' room. That was kind of scary. So you'd get into like your PKE meter. Is this before or after?
This part it was really funny. Is I skipped this. So, but the kids' room that you're talking about, it is before that. But the kids' room is you know Dan Aykroyd says like, I think the kids are trying to tell us something, and as he's saying that, I'm walking down the stair or out the door, and so then the kid whispers something, and he goes, he's like, see you, kid, and like leaves, and I was like, huh? And I turn around and look, and I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't. My bad, game. Like, I had no idea you were trying to do something here.
What you're supposed to do is
you're
supposed to whip out the PKE meter. You're just like a little teddy bear, like a stuffed panda bear, and it gets up and starts moving. As you go, it's like a little theater area for the kids, like a little puppet area, and you go into there. But you can also see some like scary paintings the kids did on the walls as well, about like a scary guy, which I'm assuming is supposed to be the collector. But you get an achievement for looking at that, and then when you walk out, kid says bye. One. But as you're looking at it, like you hear like kids whispering and shit, and like just saying like help us, and I think like this is a fucking nightmare. Just
walk right to the door, hit interact, open the door, walked out, and then the kid was like see ya, and I was like what? And like I had no idea.
Oh yeah, later kid, I guess. All right.
Yeah, get fucked. Fuck them kids.
Exactly. So
Fuck them kids is right.
Yeah, I just skipped a little bit over here. This is also where we find beforehand is we find black slime, which is slime that can hurt you if you touch it. This is where you get an automatic upgrade to your pack as well, which is we now can use the slime function. So, like Ghostbusters 2, which you both saw with me the other day, you can now slime things to get rid of the black slime, but it also has a tether, which is a not great mechanic.
Can
I think
I
they
say
just shouldn't have it at all.
the tether is so far the worst secondary action in the game.
Because you're never going to use it outside of like some puzzle platforming stuff.
Right, but the irritating thing to me with the tether is like one would think I like boom hit the slime and then I yank or I walk away and it like no. It wants you to like I attach the slime up top and I attach the slime to where I'm standing, and for some reason
and God pulls it together.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense.
It's slime.
Like,
why is it all of a sudden contracting?
I tried to like walk away with it, and it just kept going and expanding. I was like, "This doesn't. This mechanic, I hate.
It's not great. Luckily, they don't use it too much, at least right now. But yes, you will go ahead and finish off her, and what you'll do is it'll open up.
What now?
You'll finish off her. You'll finish her off as far as like the gray lady, as far as taking her down.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Right, dude.
Down to Pound Town.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there, but you're going there. Okay.
we played a different game.
You guys didn't have tentacles in it? No? Okay.
Nope, just the weird slime.
All right, fair enough. After that boss battle, you will go ahead and a dimensional portal opens. You'll go through it because, of course, why wouldn't you? The reason being is because that gate behind you that was the entrance has now closed off. So now this is the only thing you have to go through. But why not go through just an interdimensional portal? It's just, that should be safe, right? Once you go through that portal, it has a very cool effect that the room that you were in just explodes, and now you can kind of see this dimension that this library is in, which is, I think they even called it the Gozerian dimension, to where it's going to be full of a whole bunch of spoopy ghosts, book things flying around. What I essentially put on here is portals, because essentially you're just going to walk around. You're beelining it through staircases. You can find some artifacts and stuff, some things to scan, maybe a couple of ghosts to attack.
I figured out that portal puzzle instantly, I think accidentally. Yeah. And it was like,
just chose the right one.
Done.
No, I pretty much chose every single one. I kind of knew like when you go to the right one, it takes you to the left. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go back in the left one. So I just kind of did that thing. But yeah, you find it. You go through those portals. You get some rooms that require the slime tether for you to get through. Like there's a circular room with like a long wall across it. You can use the tether to tether that to a part of the wall that can move it to get to another portal. You also do this as far as you will go ahead and get before that you go into like a mirror hallway with some cultist ghosts, which you need your PKE meter to whip out to be able to find them in the mirrors. I did not even use the PKE meter to find them in the mirrors. I just waited for the motherfucker to come out. Like, I'm not doing this.
So this whole mirror thing.
that video that Christian sent is so funny.
So Preston, did you already go watch it, Preston?
No, I have not.
So go ahead and go to the general chat and watch it while I describe this. This is my fourth soft
It's only
lock.
40 seconds long. Yeah.
This took me 9 reloads to not have happen. 9.
Oh. So it just floats around in the mirror.
Yep, he just hangs out there, floats, spins, and
Did you try your PKE meter?
Oh yeah, dude, I tried everything.
That's a 49-second thing. Okay.
Damn, what up, Alex? Is some of that for us? What the fuck, dude?
You get some food?
For some reason,
bro, are you not allowed to leave that room? Did Allie bring you 3 weeks worth of meals? What the fuck is happening, dude?
For some reason, it's just a little tiny hand roll, but they only put like one box in a box. I don't know why they did that. Because you're right, it made it look like I had so much. She had 3 boxes. Like, why do you have 3 boxes? But yeah, they just put like one hand roll in a whole box.
Ridiculous.
All right.
But anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you get stuck in the mirror.
There's nothing I can do. I went through one of the times. I didn't know if maybe like I caused it, so I broke every mirror, thinking like maybe that would solve the problem. It did not. Yeah, I had to reload my checkpoint 8 times, and on the 9th time, yes, every single time. In the 9th time, it finally didn't do it. My only guess is that so by this point I have bought in the upgrades that let me shoot 2 boson darts before it overheats. And I don't know if this is the case or not. But the way that I was able to get it to repeat was if I shot both boson darts at him, cooled off, and then got a third one off before he was able to go down, it would get him almost all the way to the third plip, like right before I could capture him.
You were doing too much damage.
I think I was doing too much damage to him, and the game was like freaking out, and like he was getting caught in between phases or something. I don't fucking know. The final time I decided what I was going to do was use the stun gun, like the cold gun, freeze him, shoot him twice, not do anything, wait for him to come back, freeze him, shoot him twice, and do that. I got farther that last time I was trying this method. He still did the same thing, so I tried it just one more time. I had resigned myself, just so that everybody knows, that if it happened one more time and I was on my 10th try, I was going to tell you guys that I'm not doing this anymore, and I'm going to watch a playthrough, and then I will just restart the game and like catch back up for this next section. But I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was but it finally went through, and I heard Dan Aykroyd and Egon going back, like, I think something's good, or I think this new girl has something to do with this. What, Alyssa? And like, I heard that.
You were just losing your mind.
Yeah, it made me want to rip my eyeballs out. I was like so done with that. So that by the time it happened, by the time I finished it and it let me go through, I was like, oh, praise Jesus. Like, I was so happy, only to be met with a boss fight that was
not great.
I think, yeah.
Great. So
he told me, he texted me and he was like, I almost just uninstalled this game and told Preston I'm not playing. It was the message I got.
Yeah. Now I would have, like I said, I was going to catch up. Like I would just be like, but I'm done. I will look up what happens in this section, and then I will come back and replay it on easy or something.
So
and
apparently you're supposed to use the PKE meter. It's like if you find him in the, like you play PKE meter first person mode, you're supposed to be able to see him, and that's supposed to get him out of the mirror. So I didn't even know that was how you're supposed to do it until I was kind of looking at some stuff later on to kind of like write these notes
And let me
down.
tell you, so that the way that he's spinning like that, right? Yeah. Like, and you guys,
he's supposed to just
by now.
go back and forth.
That's what I love. He's just spinning in.
He's just hanging out.
So the first time I thought that I was going to get away with this, so he did that he did that in my world, like he was just spinning.
Not in mirrors, yeah.
And so I'm just shooting him, and I get him down to one clip, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to be able to capture this guy, and I will have broken this, but it will have been in a way that was in my favor. I was very happy when I get him down to one plip. Now, not remembering the fact that he should have been red at 3 plips, and I should have been able to get him there. Mm-hmm. But it was just like green, and just kept going to the point where when I did enough damage to where I'm assuming his health got to 0, he just poof disappears, and I couldn't do anything. And I was like, well, that makes sense. I broke it, and I was just trying to see how far I get. I was like, but it's fine. I'll reload it and have it again. Yeah, 8 more times.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm sorry.
You created a bug in the software and it couldn't work itself
you definitely did. So, after the mirror asshole that almost made Christian quit the game, we do just a little bit more exploring, but we eventually get to an outside staircase, which, again, I like all the outside stuff. Looks very cool. But this one had, like, book swarms, so it's not a puzzle, but it's kind of like there's a pattern to how these books are coming through. You got to make sure not to do it because these books will like essentially one-hit kill you and they go through you. So I found the one-hit kill out immediately because I'm like, okay, well, let's go through here and I'll shoot them while they're coming. That doesn't work. So I just, you get up there, you get all the way through, and you get to like the very top end, and all of a sudden you see this main platform, which is the last portal is at, of course. Splits off into 4 sections, which is where we get to have a fun time with the tether. I was able to get the first platform just fine. The second platform starts to work, but that last third one, I could not find a tether point on that last platform to save my life.
Can I just say that during
I had to wait for like a minute for it to move close enough to finally get it.
So I thought it was so funny when you get the tether point, and then like instead of it just like sort of pulling it together, it is like driving Miss Daisy. Yeah. It is the slowest thing I have ever seen, and you're just like nonchalantly just like. Like I would have expected some like smooth elevator jazz of me just sitting there like being like just.
I tried doing more tethers. I'm like, well, maybe I can add a couple more on here. Maybe just go faster. Nope, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I tried like 6 tethers and it didn't.
I had a real hard time just getting it to one tether attached to that damn thing. I finally found a nice little spot on the edge that did it, but like I was getting real frustrated with that one. Did not like that at all. I'm like, this tether stuff. This better be the last place this tether stuff really comes into effect. I'm worried that it's not going to be the case.
Oh boy, it's not going to be.
There's no way.
You got to the 3rd mission. Why would it be the last?
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. No, it's not going to be last. All right, so tether the platforms, the last gate. Bad. I put in my notes. Now we're at the boss battle with Azeltor, the Collector. So this is a big kind of area. He's this big tornado-looking dude. You're supposed to slime his mask to get him down to where you can actually do damage to him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can't really see the black slime on his mask, and I was sliming him for a lot longer than I thought I should be having to slime him to get that mask to a point that
I tested something because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I died 6 times to this boss.
Died twice.
And it was mostly because I put myself. Part of it was my fault. I put myself in harm's way, trying to go and revive teammates.
Which is what I was doing. Yeah.
And when I would do that, he would come and smoke me, and then my teammates who were newly revived, I watched multiple times sit there and take 4 slam attacks and then die, and I was just like, I was ready to come unglued. But I tested something, so I don't believe this game when it says that you're supposed, like, I know it said like you use the slime to get the black slime off, blah blah blah. Preston, to your point, you use the slime gun and you can be shooting at his face until the fucking cows come home.
Doing it for a long time,
and it takes a long time. I bought the upgrade that basically turns me into a Nickelodeon slime cannon.
Okay.
Where I'm shooting like quadruple the amount of slime. It still took the exact same amount of time for his mask to come off.
Jesus. You think it's a timed thing?
Yeah.
Hate that.
Something. Because I was blasting him.
There's no way, like the way like you're taking off the black slime on surfaces, like it comes off, not too quickly, like, but it's quick enough.
But it's quick enough
for a mask that size and how much I'm sliming it and going around him to make sure I'm getting all fucking whatever spots of the mask I need to get. Like it's. I don't see the black slime on there, so I don't know how much I'm doing. I'm just doing it. There's
none. Also, I'm telling you, when you guys the next session, buy that slime upgrade and then shoot the gun once and then turn the game off, turn it back on if you don't want to spend the money. But I'm telling you, do it so you can see the amount of slime. Yeah. And then think about how long it took you to do it with the regular one, and then think about how crazy I was going shooting this fucking cannon's worth of slime at this dude. It's so much slime that it covers the whole top part of his like from neck to face.
Oh Jesus!
It's completely covered in green. Like that's like as far as animation is concerned. And I was just sitting there all day with a fire hose of slime, and nothing was.
He's got a couple shitty attacks. One would be essentially like a slam down that has like a area effect forward. He's got another one where he just comes up to you and he just kind of like explodes kind of deal. Big pain in the ass. It was nice to use the portals I would do occasionally. So I revived somebody, and as soon as I revived, I would just try to jump into a portal just to get out of whatever attack area he was in. So finally, you get him down. You slime head to clear it back out. Takes health to 0, and he explodes. You take the portal back, and Winston is like, "Where the fuck were you guys?" Egon does a very funny long speech, a description of where we were actually at and doing, which I thought was funny. And then we get to see a glyph above the door that's glowing, and one of the circles of the 3 circles is now gone, as far as whatever's glowing. So, kind of got an idea that we'll probably have 2 more big baddies, probably before we take care of the main one. And then, so that circle goes black. We take the codex back to the research, at the firehouse, and this is kind of where I stopped. I didn't want to start the next cutscene or anything like that because I'm assuming it's going to lead into whatever we're talking about the next one. So that's where I stopped. So that's where we're going with this. But what are your overall thoughts? Please take your time because I'm going to try to figure out how many levels we're doing next. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I didn't write down.
I'll start by saying the cutscenes are great. So there's a loop in this game that we did skip over, right? Like, we touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it. The loop in this game is pretty simple. Wave after wave after wave of tiny ghosts that you fight until you make your way around a maze of a level to fight a mini boss ghost, until you make your way to the rest of the level to fight the main big bad, right? So, like, the way this looks earlier, the city is your wave of like mini ghost, and then the like fisherman is like your mini boss ghost, which, by the way, the fisherman ghosts like look fucking dope, right? And then you do wave and wave and wave of little ghosts to get to the Stay Puft guy, which is the big one, right? And like that is the loop. The big boss ghost, the Stay Puft, was my favorite. Because with the others, with like the candelabra thing and the final boss fight, like there's just little mechanic shit that annoyed me. But my favorites were like the little mini boss ghosts in between. Like those have been the coolest design in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like,
had more like
the whole like hotel was flooded with the Seafarer one. Like those have been cool. But dude, the wave after wave of ghosts, like you kill like 10, 11, 12. You're like, cool.
100, 300.
And then they just keep coming. You're like, where are you coming from? And the only thing I can think is it's just the game's way of slowing you down because it's not a long game anyway.
It's not, yeah.
So, like, yeah, like, so far the story is interesting. I like the environment of the last area. Mm-hmm. Like, the final area we played was very cool. Yeah, the Dimension was a very cool environment. And I like the mini bosses, but dude, in the middle there, like, I get so frustrated just following ghosts from room to room to room that I cannot kill yet. Like, if I can see you and shoot you, I should be able to see you and shoot you, but the game's like, no. You gotta fight your way here, and then we'll put you in a mini arena. I'm just like, why?
Because that's how they made the games back then. That's how the combat went. Yeah. It's like, you got a mini arena for your boss battle, but between that, you're gonna have all these little minions coming at you. It's that very early PS3 kind of game loop. It's been in a lot of games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm not going to hold all of the soft locks against the game because that's not... I just have an uncanny ability to attract that stuff. But also, like, it's, Now, I will say the one that I had to reload 8 times, I got very mad.
That's ridiculous.
I don't mind a single checkpoint reload. I can even give you 2. As soon as I'm above 5... I'm like, all right, guys, what am I supposed to do?
So at a certain point, like, is it going to actually get fixed? How many times are you going to beat your head to get this?
Like, maybe it's a hard lock, right? Like, maybe I literally, my save is corrupted and there's nothing I can do, and I have to restart the whole thing, and I just, But I got to the point at the end of 3 hours, like, after the collector fight and everything, I was like, man, I get it. Like, I get the loop, like, I get it all. Mm-hmm. Like, and then I started to think to myself, and I was like, this is probably the reason that Ghostbuster movies are not 3 hours long or longer. Like, is because like this, everything that happens in this section would have been a Ghostbusters movie on its own. Mm-hmm. Like that collector fight, everything that would have been it. Like
these 3 sections that could have been a movie.
Wham bam, thank you. We're out. Thanks for coming to see Ghostbusters 3.
Come see the sequel.
Catch you in the next one. Yeah. And I got this. I was thinking about, and then because, like I said, because of all the soft locks I had, I was looking up a thing to see, like, maybe I was doing something wrong, whatever. So I saw the amount of levels in here, and I was looking at it, and I was like, damn, there is not an insignificant chunk left. Like, and I'm trying to think for story wise. I'm like, what are they gonna even have us do? Like, I don't, but yeah,
we'll find out. I'm breaking this into 3 parts. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the first part a lot. I mean, it's taking me back to a game I already played. I love Ghostbusters, so you got a little bit of leeway there as well. They got the original cast back. CG cutscenes are great. The in-game stuff looks pretty good as well. I love the destruction of everything, like your laser beams, all.
I actually think it holds up. Especially, there's a you can turn on PC. There's a setting that, like, you can crank it all the way up to like ultra and like do the thing. It holds up very well.
I'll say that little video I watched outside of it being a bug, like, it looked very good when you shoot stuff off the wall.
Yeah,
for sure.
Even on Steam Deck, the settings are very high. It looks very good.
Yeah, it's a game that could even be on PS2, if you will. So it's it's got some breadth there as far as where it can be played on. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the first sections outside of a couple of things here and there. Gameplay for gameplay's sake is usually what hangs me up. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying what I'm playing. So what we'll do for next time is we're gonna do 2 more parts. I don't want the second. You don't want it to be 2 parts and the second part being super duper long. But for this next section, what we'll do is we're going to be going to the History Museum and return to Sedgwick. So the next 2 levels, and then we'll have 2 more levels after that with a boss battle after the last level. So we'll just do 2 levels for the next 2 parts, and we'll be good to go. So stop after you finish Return to Sedgwick.
You got it.
Okay.
After return. But yeah, that is part 1 of Ghostbusters. I'm glad you guys don't completely hate it.
Cool.
I was kind of worried that you guys were going to fucking hate it.
Well, we're not giving ratings yet. We'll see. There's time.
Well, I mean, it's so far it's tolerable, and you guys weren't like. I mean, Christian was quit because of a bug, but you guys weren't like. It's like this is a garbage game. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Cool.
it's well
All
made.
right.
It's well made. Like it plays fine. Yeah.
I will tell you this, and this is not your fault, Preston. I wish, though, you would have said in the beginning that the multi-developers, because I think it would have been interesting to have somebody play like the Wii version and the PC, because those look drastically different.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to know what my opinion is playing on the Wii.
Dude, I bet gameplay-wise, I bet the Wii is fucking fun as fuck to
with the
play.
aiming?
It probably is, but I wonder if it has the same charm with the goofy characters, or maybe. So I'm a little disappointed. Like, one of us isn't playing there, or because I would have chosen the different one on the, because it looks like so different.
Yeah,
so
definitely got like a weird Pixar animation, but they need to get because that animation is on the PS2, Wii, and the I think PSP version. The DS version has a top-down version of this game.
A PSP version? A DS version?
The DS version is top-down, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, dude.
There's a lot of versions of
We
this game.
should have. One of us should have volunteered. I would have played the DS.
I don't even know if the story is
And
gonna be the
then-
same or like even like the levels
Yeah,
sections.
I
So
wonder
I don't
how
know.
It would have been.
work.
It would have been interesting to know.
interesting.
It would have been interesting to know. Okay,
We
cool.
can
All
just
right.
look up a YouTube
Yeah, we
video.
can
It's
just
not
look
that
up
big of a deal.
Yeah.
There's footage.
All right. Well, that's the first part of Ghostbusters, the movie, the video game.
They're just the video game.
Canon. I know. I know. But with that, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Of course, we'll be back next week with part 2, where we'll give more thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
Preston, what did you come off? What did you do last time? Flower?
Yes.
That was your last
yeah,
game?
Yeah, last game was Flower because it was with your hand time, so I wanted to find something they could do.
Yeah, I don't know why you did this. That was a little offensive.
That's what your hand looked like. when
Fully,
you were
fully
rolling around,
abled hand now.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Look at
That's how floppy your finger was because you chopped it off.
rude. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We will catch you next week. Preston, you know what to do.
I'll be in my new apartment. Wish me luck. Bye. Hit it.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If watching is more your thing, check out youtube.com/thetestingroom or Twitch TV/testingroompod. To leave comments and ask questions, follow us on Instagram @testingroompod and email us at testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.